Well, I'm hitting the button. We're here. We're live.
Oh, we're going early. We're here. We're
I mean,
live.
it's not really early.
2 minutes.
Oh, I mean, as opposed to if you're on time, you're early. If you're early, you're on time.
If you're on time, you're late.
I should know that better than I do because that's words that I live by. So
Yeah, that's. We both had military dads, so pretty sure that was drilled into both of us our entire lives. So, but we're here. This is episode 212 of the Herpeticulture Podcast.
it's been a minute.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? We got Uncle Mike with Mike's monitors in there. Jeremy, what's up, man? Brandon, good to see you, buddy.
Oh,
Robert, Harry, the new dad. Congrats, buddy.
that's right.
Glad to see everybody here. Ooh, Dustin.
It's been a little while, so
Yeah.
nothing is like wrong. Schedule's just been
Yeah.
wild. I don't know. There's something about this time of year, man. Like
Everything's busy. Dude.
everything is just busy. Like there's always stuff going on.
And plus, now with Flippin' 10 in the mix, it's all everything's.
Well, yeah. I mean, not even
different.
that though.
Not in a bad way at all, but
well, this is episode 212 of THP.
Yes.
Brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram. Put something in the cart, something nice. Then at checkout, put in the code THN, get 10% off your order. You will not regret it. Some of the best hardware around. Objectively great stuff that you will not be disappointed by. Love my racks, love my cages. In the process of getting my whole room turned into black box stuff. So
yeah.
Jake's pretty much there at this point.
No, not yet. I'm still my biggest thing I'm waiting for from BlackBox is an arboreal rack for some grow out rat snakes. That's like the next thing I really want to eliminate all this shit up here. But yeah, I'm there. All my racks now. Every rack I have in here that is like a tub sliding style rack is BlackBox. Got a couple cages to switch over. That's funny. I was talking to my dad yesterday because I mentioned how my garage is like it's just full of crap, and he's like, "What do you have in there?" I was like, "I've got old cages, old racks, taking up space." And he's like, "Why haven't you gotten rid of them?" I'm like, "Because I'm waiting to switch everything over to BlackBox, and I got to keep those there just in case."
Yeah, and that's the problem I have is like even if it's stuff that's not BlackBox and it's stuff that's like it's done its job, it's worked well, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just so hard to get rid of because it's like, what if I need it? And maybe it's a sign of like hoarding or something.
Oh, it's hoarding.
It's like I don't like I got a BioG sitting right here behind the computer. And it's like, I'm never getting rid of that. Like, as much as it might drive Katie crazy, like, it's going nowhere because I know for damn certain there's going to be a rhino going in it at some point.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, I don't know. If it's BlackBox, it ain't never leaving. These are from the old company I use. I got a rack in 3 by 2 by 12 cages back there. I got 2 of them, and there's in the garage. But I'm like, if I ever need them for quarantine or something, they're there, BlackBox is definitely preferred, but I'm keeping this stuff around till I have extras, but in the meantime, y'all can see my wall of racks here with all my BlackBox goodies. And then there's another rack there, and there's under the black cages, there's 3 BlackBox cages behind me.
Tyson tubs from Dollar Tree are superior to AP enclosures.
Yeah, everything is superior to AP. But we're not here to talk bad about any other cages. We're just here to say BlackBox is the best. Lot of options, guys, especially if you're going for cages. But even in their racks, they have 2 heating zones in their racks. They got a fail safe in their rack, and they did something amazing. And it's and in their larger racks, they have little cutouts to where you can put that probe
You
right
can
exactly
access
where
it,
you want it.
so you're not having to like figure out how to get to the back of a V70 to
Last
get,
time,
it's
last time I did it, I literally used a snake hook
yeah.
to like put it down, and it was the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have any heat running on
I'm
these racks anymore.
amazed
But
that wasn't something that other builders like years prior ever thought about, of
it
like,
was such a simple thing.
let's put a door in the back so you can actually add this. Like, it blows my mind. It's something so simple. It's always the obvious stuff that people forget. So
Yeah, definitely hit
but
them up. And if you're looking for a cage, man, pretty much no matter how you like your cages, they have an option for you. Whether you like screens and cutouts for lights, whether you like heat panels, whether you like heat lights built inside of the cage. If you want a built-in PVC shelf, you want a removable PVC shelf. It's all there, man. Like, they're so
a lot of
customizable.
ventilation, minimal
Yeah,
ventilation,
they have so many sizes, and now they've
light,
actually made
privacy.
12-inch tall cages now. It's a new size that they made, was like 4x2x12s or 3. I don't know if they have a 3x2x12. I know they have a 4x2x12. So they got short cages, tall cages. I think the biggest cages they have are like 7 feet long, maybe 8. I can't remember. But a lot of options. Whatever you keep, whatever you got, BlackBoxes, they got you. And actually, again with BlackBox, I don't know if they've already filled the position, but they are actually hiring. So if you're handy with construction, you have some CNC background, you live in the Georgia area, hit up
You're in
BlackBox if you're looking for a job.
Budford,
Budford, or whatever it's called.
Buford,
Buford.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Grovetown, they're kind of not far from that, like Marietta-ish, like North Georgia, north of Atlanta, like outskirts of Atlanta kind of thing.
So if you're in that area and you're handy, and especially if you have CNC
and reliable,
yeah, hit them up, man. Be a great company to work for. I would do it in a heartbeat if I had the experience and lived over there. I could tell you that. That'd be awesome. So definitely hit them up if you're in the area. Need a job.
Then Steve Snaketuary and that Venom hot sauce. Get them all. Get the whole lineup. Every single one of them. Bottles 1 through 6. Is there 7? No.
There's Cottonmouth, Copperhead,
Coral,
Canebrake,
Pygmy.
Yeah, I think.
And then the anti-venom.
It's either 5 or 6.
I don't think there was an Eastern Diamondback one.
No, I
It
think
was just Louisiana's.
Just Louisiana's, yeah.
Yeah, so 6.
I have to look. All the bottles that I have are in the kitchen. Yeah. So, but yeah, hit him up. He's got great hot sauce. Tastes super good. Goes good on pretty much anything. We love the cottonmouth sauce. Make you some tacos and slather it on there, baby. Good to go.
It can be. It's the all around best. Like, it's so versatile. You can use it on anything, and it'll elevate it. Like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, slap them on there.
Slap it on there, baby.
Cocoa Puffs, do it. Fruity Pebbles, sure. Any cereal, grape nuts, definitely.
Yeah, you like watermelon? Slap it on there.
I draw the line there.
Oh, come on. You'll put it in milk and cereal.
Maybe on like an orange or something, but watermelon is just.
My mom actually puts salt on her watermelon.
I've heard a lot of people do that. I've never,
a lot of people
tried it, but
it's not bad. But
I don't see how it does anything. But
I can't really eat watermelon without my mouth.
Well, I mean, like
fuck you. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
Katie's sitting here saying it's good. So
yeah, I don't. Really eat any of that shit anymore because, like, if you know me, you probably know I'm allergic to a lot of
body hates them.
A lot of raw fruits and vegetables, and it's weird because I used to be able to eat like a couple pieces of watermelon, and I'd be all right. And then we were in Tennessee, and I ate like 4 chunks, being like, "Oh, I'll be good." And like 10 minutes later, my mouth was like all swollen and like tingly and shit, and I was like, "This is horrible." So.
Yeah. So stevesnaketuary.com, check it out. If you get those, the hot sauces, whether you get one of them or all of them or a couple of them, you're helping Steve directly with his public education. He does relocations, rehabilitations, takes in unwanted, pets that people get herp wise. If they need any sort of mending, he does that, and then finds them good homes and stuff. So by getting that hot sauce, you were helping him out directly.
And you should get the whole set.
You should collect them all, the whole set, whole thing.
They're like Pokemons.
And last but worst, FulviusApparel.com.
What?
Horrible.
That guy, I don't know who runs that website, but he's a douche.
Dude, that website's a hot mess. Someone the other day was like, "Man, your website looks really good," and I'm like, "Really?
Really?
I kind of fucking hate it."
Yeah,
that's the the problem. Whether it's WordPress or Shopify, like you will never be fully satisfied with whatever theme you pick. You're never going to be satisfied. And there's so many of them out there. You're going to continue to search and search and search to try and find the one, but that one just doesn't exist.
Well, anything is better than freaking Teespring. So
yeah,
that's a perk.
You know what's kind of interesting about that is there was a guy at work who he has like a TikTok page or something with like a big following, and so he started sort of a little merch thing. And he was coming to us to fulfill some of that stuff. And it was getting to like, we're stupid busy right now. And so it was like, small orders of like 4 or 5 items, like hoodies or shirts, whatever. It's like, I can't do them right away. So like you need to tell your people, like they're going to be waiting a little while because it's just super backed up. And I said, check it out, look at Teespring, see that as an option. We tried, I told him, I was like, I tried it. It was all right. It's not the best. And then he tried it and then came back like a week or 2 later. And he's like, stuff was just washing right off the shirts. Like it wasn't even.
Yeah.
He's like, someone got a hoodie and like the ink was running, like it had like run. It was just very strange. I don't know. It's so odd.
It's not good quality, dude.
I don't know how that whole thing works. Like how someone.
I don't know how they're still in business.
And put that in a bag and be like, this is good, ship it. Like, I don't know. I didn't see any pictures of it or anything, but yeah, it served its purpose for the brief time that we had it. But now you can just order Fulvius Apparel at fulviusapparel.com. I got to get that Phylodryas shirt up, that new Squam shirt up. And
the Boom Slang shirt's pretty fucking sick.
Boom Slang's up. Yeah, dude. That's probably
that's a good one.
One of my favorites. I keep saying like all the time, like, oh, that one's my favorite. It's like it constantly changes.
Yeah. My favorite still to this day is the I don't know if you have it on the website, but the Pantherophis one.
Oh yeah.
You gave me.
Oh yeah.
Dude, can I get that one in black? I don't know what the color of the print.
Oh, that's something that I've been playing around with more because I haven't really offered a lot in the way of black shirts just because I know a lot of people were like, I'm tired of black shirts. I like black shirts. I love black shirts.
I need black shirts too.
So I was trying to like make black shirts sort of
just making an option
lesser, but like the thing is with that is I have to adjust the art. Like there's a whole process of adjusting it so that it works with the black. Because if you have a lighter image and you're putting it on a black shirt, you're gonna get like the reverse of the image. So it's not gonna, the eyes are gonna look weird. It's gonna look like a photo negative in a way. So there's a way that I have to sort of tweak it. Which it's not difficult by any means. It's not super time consuming either. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I probably should offer everything in black, which means I have to go through and adjust all the art. That doesn't have that as an option to, make it that available. And that's just time consuming. It's the setting up the mock-ups and stuff and getting those loaded up on the website and all that just takes time. And I started taking courses for Illustrator.
Nice.
For Adobe. So pretty much between that and trying to get some of these courses done, like legitimately making sure I'm spending time sitting down, getting some of those lessons and project things done. I've been trying to make a very conscious effort to do that. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I'll definitely be hitting you up for one of those Panthro for shirts in black because Daddy needs his black.
The Willardy shirt is tough. So like
that's a good one too.
The source image for that comes up when I look up, Creative Commons stuff that's not, public domain, or stuff that's not off limits commercially. But I did some looking and I did some more digging, and the image that I found and was sort of basing it off of is copyrighted. So that's one I can't.
Oh, you gotta scratch that one.
I just need to go a different route or something, use something different. It's so hard with that because their markings and stuff are kind of so subtle that with the way I do the art and stuff together, more contrast makes my life a little bit easier in terms of making it. So, but yes, Valentine or Gron, if you guys have a picture, I tell people all the time, if you have a picture or if I'm searching for one and you have one, like I will gladly send you a shirt or two.
I mean, you did it with one of mine with that rat snake picture.
Yeah.
It turned out great. Yeah, and speaking of Brandon Valentine, I want to hit him up soon for a THP episode. So Brandon, we're coming for you, buddy. I talked to him.
Get your ass on here.
I talked to him a couple weeks ago. We have to plan a Friday episode for him, but I'm okay with that if you are. So
yeah,
that's going to be a near future, possibly next THP. Brandon, if you would be,
I gotta plug in my fan real quick. It's already getting hot.
Go plug in your fan, buddy.
No airflow in this mofo.
Man, I'm in the snake room. I always got this fan on high. Let's go. Brandon's back on days at the moment, so yeah, we can definitely work it out. We'll hit you up, man. I've been wanting to get you on for a minute, Brandon. It's just been scheduling hasn't worked out. So dope. Definitely get you on here soon. Like I said, you'll hear from me soon, probably for the next episode. Feel we get in 2 weeks. But yeah. Smitty's coming back. Smitty, Brandon said he's back on days at the moment, so he can go whenever, baby.
Word.
So
I don't need it to be cooler, really. Like it's comfortably warm. Yeah. I just need airflow. Like when it's worse when there's no.
Oh God, Harry!
I don't get it.
You just don't ask questions.
2 Chainz?
No, you gotta no. Don't try to understand because you won't, and that's okay. But yeah. Ooh, Dustin's leaving for Utah on Sunday. Let's go, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, Gabe said it's wild that's 92 today and it's May. It is kind of weird because, like, dude, yesterday and this morning it was like mid 60s in the morning, which is also weird for May. I'm used to it being extra hot.
It's gonna be May.
But yeah. Finally a proper herp trip. Let's go, Dustin. Let's go. But yeah, man. So what's new on the other side of the county?
Oh boy, rhinos.
Yes.
I came home.
That was today? You just got them?
Today, yeah. So I actually wrote down last year. I wrote down notes and then erased them for some reason, and so then I had Chaz and I had Kevin Barron messaging me being like, "How long is what's the wait between prelay shed and dropping?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't remember because I wrote it down and then deleted it." But she had her prelay shed on 5/20 and then laid today, and it was
wow, that was only 11 days, or
not
10,
even 10 days.
10 days.
But that seems. I did some reading. Burwell, his site said, 10 to I think 12 or 13 is pretty standard. Yeah. Rob Stone with his article for the magazine, same thing. So 10 is on the sort of the earlier side. 11 seems to be a little more common. But yeah, 8 eggs. They all look perfect.
That's more than you got last year, isn't it?
I got 6 last year.
Nice. Did you have them cohab? Have you had them cohab since you had the last clutch?
What, the adults?
Yeah.
Yeah, they stay together year round. Like,
okay.
They don't get separated at all. They stay together.
When was the first clutch dropped? Was it about the same time period?
No, that's what's interesting is I want to say she laid. Let me go back through the grams. Do you use Instagram as a
yes?
Like go back and look at when things happen to remind yourself.
Actually, I use it also if I'm like looking for a certain picture. I'm like, I know I posted this motherfucker. So instead of going through my photos, I go through my
Instagram.
Instagram.
Is when it's you've got 3,000 posts and you're having to dig. Yeah. Like, oh my god.
Well, it's easier to dig through posts than it is to dig through the 10 million photos on my phone. So,
but she did lay, but it was like a month earlier than last year, which I thought was interesting too.
It might just because they're more like they're used to being together. They're cycled a little bit better,
I think. I
would bet you now from now on you get the eggs around this time most years if you keep.
Well, I think that's a pretty decent part of it is the fact that she is older, she is a little bigger.
Yeah.
Condition was right, everything, so that's something Matt Most has told me. June 20th was when she laid last year. Yeah.
So it wasn't quite a month off almost, but about 20 days because it's basically June now.
How many eggs was that? No, don't replace the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she laid 7 eggs last year. For some reason, I'm thinking maybe one died not long after it came out of the egg, and then one died a couple days later.
I know one died almost immediately, like within a matter of days coming out.
Yeah. So that. Either way, these all look really good.
Nice.
It's really interesting because something that I periodically will go back through the magazine articles and stuff and reread stuff, and rereading Rob's article on rhinos in the magazine. He talked about how when they lay them in like these like packets is what he sort of termed them. But there's like they're all like parallel with each other. Mm-hmm. Except for like one or two that are kind of on the end.
Yeah, I noticed that. But everything is like line, and then there's like two,
like a packet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a common thing. And she kind of did that last year too. But something he mentioned that he noticed they do is so.
So tell me, with your corns, do they lay kind of sporadically? Because like my rat snakes last year, it was like there would be 3 in a clump, there'd be 2 in a clump, and then like a couple lone eggs, and then maybe another like clump. I don't know. How big
no, I haven't really had that. I haven't had that happen. I didn't have it happen with the Cyanea. I didn't have it happen with Bairds. It didn't have it happen with corns. Really, that pied blood red female, she also laid a couple days ago.
Nice.
Her clutch was small, and I don't know if they're good or not. It's hard to tell. Like they found that like they were.
Did you candle them?
Not yet. I don't. You're not really going to see much from candling in that first, 24 hours or so.
Yeah, you will.
I usually give them a couple days or a week or so, and then I'll candle them. But I don't know. These just like they look okay. Yeah. But they were very like water balloony and kind of soft and not really. I don't know. I don't think she liked the Eco Earth that I had in the lay box, which I've never really used. That's just what I had at the time because I didn't have any spag on hand.
Yeah, that stuff works great.
I'd never use it. I've always just used spag, and I used it with her, and she started laying stuff outside of the egg box, and then finally decided to go back in the egg box and finish laying. So it was odd. I don't know. She seemed just kind of erratic.
Yeah. Last year I used peat moss last year for. I only had two snakes. I only had 2 snakes lay last year, and they both double clutched. One of them I used a really big tub, like one of those yellow lidded ones from Lowe's.
Yeah, like that's like the serious heavy duty ones.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
filled that up with peat moss. And dude, it was so cool, and it makes me like want to do bigger enclosures to use bigger lay boxes like that because she literally she buried them like way
Yeah.
down the bottom of it, and then she came all the way back up and made it perfectly smooth over the top and like completely buried these things and totally at the bottom of the tub. And that was just full of peat moss, and it worked really, really well. And I was like, damn, man, like I want to keep doing this because this worked so good, you know. And then with the gray rat, I just used Sfag this year. So I've got a lot more stuff going. What I'm doing is I used those blue lidded tall tubs from Dollar Tree that we use for like smaller snakes.
Yep.
I use those. I put a square in to access it on one end, and then I did like a little bit more than half of it filled up with the peat moss. So it's just like peat moss, just dirt for anybody who doesn't know, basically. And then I put Sfag over the top of that, so it had like a layer of Sfag for kind of loose stuff, and then she was able to bury under those. So that's what I did for the rat snakes. For the Pituophis, I just used a bunch of peat moss because they're in a rack. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it looks because I got my Appalachicola white oak rat is like she's about to pop. She's very, very gravid.
Yeah.
And she hasn't been inside of it yet, so I'm wondering if she's going to use it or not. But I was kind of tardy to the party, put in lay boxes. So I'm curious if she's even going to use it because she hasn't really checked it out. I kind of put her in there when I put it in. I just put her head in there and she kind of checked it out for a minute and then came out, and she's actually out right now. But
with the rhinos, I've basically that lay box is also their humid hide, and I just leave that in there year round too.
Which is the best thing to do in my opinion. Just so they know where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, dude, she's like this time around after she had that pre-lay shed, she was cruising all day, every day. And then as we got closer and closer, like yesterday and the day before, like she was in and out of that lay box constantly, like in there, you know. And there's the water bolo still in there, and then that live pothos is still in there. And she still she didn't lay in either of those. So I was like, you know, I think leaving that in there would have that helped, I think. But
yeah, and that's what I plan to do now is like anything that I intend to breed that has enough space. Like obviously my Pituophis and racks, you know, they're still in V70s, so there's not a ton of space in there for them, which those are getting upgraded, with the next BlackBox order. And then there's going to be a constant humid hide in there that also doubles as a lay box. But yeah, that's what I plan to do with the rat snakes, man, especially in these, because I got most of my adult rats. I mean, all my adult rats in the 110 quart, like Hefty or Lowe's tubs. So they have a good bit of space and plenty enough to put one of those blue lidded, you know, Dollar Tree tubs in there. Well, I think those work great. So,
Mike Kosicki is in need of a younger male. So I am trading him my younger Terry Burwell male rhino for an older Matt Most female that he has.
Oh.
So next year I'll have her. I'll have the other Terry Burwell female from that pair that should be of size by then and ready to go. And then Christian Parr has a male that he's going to send to me, whether, you know, be on like long-term temporary loan or like permanent loan. We don't know yet. We haven't figured that out, but he's sending me a male he has because his female's still really young. And he's like, by the time, you know, she's of age, he's going to be like 10, which I think would be fine. I don't think that's going to stop him. Like, change anything. But I said, if you want to, you know, you send it to me whenever I get babies. I'll send you whatever you want, you know, just so next year I'll have hopefully 3 females. Oh, there we go.
There he is. Nice.
Well, you know, we'll have 3 females ready to go, and it'll be Rhino City. So
nice, man. Good stuff.
Yeah,
And
man, I walked in. I'd like before I could even get to the cage, I could see a little bit through the hole in the lid to the back. I saw white, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's
dude,
go!"
that's like for me, like that's like one of the best feelings is like once you look in there and you see just like a little speck of white from them covering their eggs, you're like, oh shit. Like that's
And then
dude, I love it.
you know that the season's like over for them because the male ate like 3 rat pinkies.
Yeah,
Like without hesitation. Like it's so when they're in the zone, dude,
no food.
you could beat them with that freaking pinky or rat pup or whatever, and they're not going to take it. Like they don't want anything to do with it. He ate 3 of them like alive. I felt bad. He just didn't even bother killing them. He just downed them. And then I gave the female probably 4 of them. Even though her body tone, like I did a Instagram live earlier when I pulled the eggs and stuff, she looks great. Like considering that she just laid, her body tone and stuff was awesome. Like she's going to bounce back.
That's what you want to see
Without any issues. I think within the next, maybe another meal, and I think she'll probably be back to normal.
And that dude, like when they look that good out of the eggs, it's not even a bouncing back thing. It's more so just getting back on normal regimen, like because if they look the same after they drop, then there's no bouncing back from that. They're good,
Yeah, man. It's just that's of all the things that I like. If some of the corn clutches didn't go, like I don't think the Ladies Island stuff went this year, even though I had them together. I don't think anything happened with them. Like, it sucks, but it's no big deal. If the pieds for whatever reason, if that clutch crashes, like sucks, it's no big deal. But like the rhinos, dude, that's like of all the things this year, like if everything else just said fuck you, not happening, I would have been like, okay, but at least let me get some rhinos.
Yeah. Nice.
That's something I wanted to touch on at some point when we're done, I guess, with your updates and stuff.
Yeah.
3 months easy. Like males refuse food, they won't lose
dude, and that just means they're ready to go, man. Like if you get that adult male that's just like fuck you, I'm not eating, that means that dude wants to breed, man. That's how I take it from males, when they go off food for an extended amount of time. That just means like they're ready to fuck.
Yeah.
Then so
Matt Most was telling me last year, keep them together, like cohab them, because apparently sort of similar to Pituovis, like that ovulation window is short. Like it's not that window is hard to notice, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that male in there to jump when the jumping's good, you're gonna miss it. So
yeah,
I cohabbed them full time and they do great. I don't really have any issues feeding because he's usually in his little spot and he has a little hangout that he's in constantly, like perched. She's usually kind of in the back hiding or something, or she's at the glass like begging. So feeding them isn't really an issue. And they do great cohabs. Like I have 0 issues. They do phenomenally. It's as far as cohabbing goes and species that are like really good for it, I think rhinos are probably one of the best.
And I do think a lot more species than we care to admit do better cohabbing. And it's just a matter of how they
same size rhinos.
It's just a matter of how they get along. Like a bad example was I had Rico, my Hernando County, with another one I assume is male. I need to probe him again, but they didn't do anything. I assume he's male. I had them cohab together for a while because I thought it was a female at first, but they didn't do anything. And looking at him, I really think he's male. But Rico's a lot bigger than the other male is, and the original one, it was in a 4-foot cage. Rico's in a 3, even though he's bigger. That was just his cage. I had the 4, so I put this other wild caught in there. And the one who's originally in the 4-foot, he was always out, always perching, doing his thing, whatever. I put Rico in there, and I was like, okay, even if they're not a pair, they might be both males, and if they get along, like I'll keep them together, and I'll just cohab them. And dude, Rico, like at a certain point, like eventually he started running the glass or the front constantly. always pushing his nose. The other male was always hiding again. And Rico, you could just tell Rico was stressed out. He was always moving. They both were eating fine. Rico was messing up his face, from pushing on the glass constantly. And the other one was constantly under either the cork or in one of the hide boxes. And I was like, all right, like this isn't working. So I put Rico back in his 3x2x2. He started acting normal again. And as soon as I took him out, the other one started perching up again. And so I was like, okay, like y'all just don't do well together. And
really something there.
Yeah, that's okay. That's about paying attention to your stuff, reading your snakes.
Yeah.
And, so.
I mean, my original female Baird's, she has like, it's not like a shortened nose, but she has like a bump. And I think it's from her over, there was a period where she was pushing a lot. I never really saw her doing it. So I don't know, she's in a V70. So I was like, what's the deal? I mean, she's fine, but some snakes, she's definitely way more high strung than the male. Like as far as my Bairds go, like she's probably the spazziest of all of them and the most sort of nervous. So I don't know. She's got this weird bulbous nose, right past the nostrils, right before the eyes. And I think it's just from her. There was a point where she was just pushing a lot.
I hate that's like my biggest stressor with snakes, man, is pushing. If snakes are pushing, I'm like, okay, it's either too hot or I need to feed them more, like I hate when snakes push a lot. It really bothers me, and it's just not something I want to see. So
not the smartest of creatures. So.
No. But any other clutches recently? Anything else new other than the rhinos and the blood reds?
Just that anery clutch that got laid a couple weeks ago. It's been about a month now.
Oh yeah. Nice.
That lavender diffused female, I on a whim put the Castagna Motley male in with her, and so she just had a prelay shed a couple days ago.
Nice.
So I'm expecting her to lay soon, within the next week.
Those would be Het Castagna?
Yes, Het Castagna, Het Motley. I'm wondering if he has some diffused in him as well, because his sides are like completely blown out, like washed out. So that'll be interesting to see. But Lavender Castagna is really, it's a cool combo. And so I was like, let me go ahead and get the ingredients together for that. And she's a gorgeous snake too. Her age is perfect. She's never been bred before. Body tone was right on. So I was like, let's give it a shot. And of course, that male in particular, he's an absolute nut. That boy does not play when it comes to food and girls, dude. He's a serious. Nice. So,
good stuff.
Left them together for a bit. They got the job done. So, that'll be interesting. But what about you? What's new over yonder?
I got some stuff that I know is gravid, stuff I think is gravid, stuff I hope eventually becomes gravid. So two things before I forget that you mentioned that I wanted to touch on that kind of relates to my situation. So I'm currently trying to breed fork line gopher snakes in Florida or southern pine snakes, the albinos. And it's funny you mentioned how like some animals, like when they're in breeding mode, like they won't eat, and then once they get the job done, it's like, all right, word, like back on food.
My job is finished.
Yeah. So with my fork line animals, they're fork line Brewster County gopher snakes. Really, really awesome locality of gophers. They're super cool. I got some confirmed locks from them. I saw it. And last year I also got at least one that I saw. They didn't go. This year I got 2 confirmed. So I'm really hoping. And they just started kind of being apart. Female went into a shed. So I pulled the male out, and it was all timed up perfectly because I paired everything at the same time. Every animal that was bred this year got paired up on the same day. And my Apalachicola white oak female and this fork line gopher both shed on the exact same day, which was a little over a week ago now, or right at a week ago. They both literally, I checked them both that morning, no sheds. I got home from work, checked them both. They both had shed. So it was like almost simultaneously. With the Apalachicola female, it's very obvious she's gravid. Like she's majorly gravid. The fork line girl is so big. Like she's a absolute beefcake.
Like just big, like without eggs, just a big snake.
Yeah, just a big snake. She's 6 foot long, she's probably, that big around. Like she's a big snake.
Illuminati.
And whenever I pull her out, she gets mad. You've seen her. She's a pissed off snake all the time. So she puffs out and makes herself look bigger. So it is so hard to tell if she is gravid. But so I separated them when she went into shed. The male ate immediately, and he hasn't eaten for the last month and a half, 2 months that I've had him paired up. So like, because he was in breeding mode, and so he ate right away. So that was like, okay, cool. And then like I waited for the female to come out of shed, and then she refused food. So again, good signs. Some Pituophis will eat, like literally Chris Painchab. He just had a clutch of Northern Pines. Congrats, Chris. Awesome. But he had that his female ate a small rat or something 4 days before she dropped her eggs. Like some of them eat, some of them don't.
Some species, yeah, I think so. Because like rhinos, granted it's the same female, but like she never refuses food. She's an eating machine. Like I have seen that snake eat 6 freaking, rat pinkies, mouth fuzzies. Like does not play when it comes to food. But when she refuses, I'm like, okay, like that means something, because that's
it's the same thing with the fork line girl. She always eats very readily, very happy to eat, and never refuses. So she refused, and because she's so big, and frankly she doesn't have enough space, like I'll be upgrading her to a bigger rack system here this year. But she's in a V70 now. She's so big, it's hard to find a good lay box for her. So what I did is Walmart sells these, they're like a washing tote. I don't know. It's something for, you find them in the dish section, but it's a big, you can actually see one behind me right there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like this big tote, and it takes up a good bit of space. But so what I did was I flipped it upside down. I put a little square in it, and I just filled it with moss, and ever since I put that thing in there, she's been inside of that. It's hard. I didn't think about how hard it would be to check her, because like you have to lift it up.
Yep.
And the moss will kind of move out and stuff and whatever.
So on that note, something that I used to do, I think I got it for the Jansen eye, but like one of those little extendable mirrors with like the head that you can move. I got one of those so that I could like peer into the box without disturbing her. Actually, I think I got it for chondros. Because when I had that first clutch of chondros, the entrance to that bucket, I had moved it so that it wasn't facing the room, so that if I was in there, she wouldn't like freak out. And I had it faced like towards the side. So I was like, well, great. Now I can't see in there, and it's hard to, I can't pull it out straight. I'd have to turn it sideways and then pull it out. So I was like, to get around that, to see if I had eggs, I got one of those little auto mirrors, little extendable ones, and use that to look into the box, without having to disturb them. So
it's not a bad idea. I think the only hard part would be the hole in it is like, it's not on top, it's on the side, because this tub is almost as tall as the V70 is. So it'd be kind of hard to look in there.
Either that or one of those cheap, like cable cameras that you can attach to your phone.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I have to look into that. But I checked on her today. I just like lifted it up ever so slightly, because like I'm so curious to know if she's
so
gravid.
Hard when they're that nervous,
Yeah, that big and that nervous. Like she always swells up anytime I look at her. She wants to make herself as big as possible. So It's really hard to tell if she's gravid, but she didn't eat. I got confirmed locks. The male ate, so I'm pretty confident. She's already had her shed, so we should know.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, know in about a week, which I'm super pumped for that, dude. I just I want one clutch Pituophis, so at least one. And then the albino pines.
Would you just shelve those?
So this year, I'm kind of wondering. I've got my room dialed in perfectly right now, and it's getting down to about 75 at night, and it heats up to about between 77 and 79 during the day, and that to me is like money for all my stuff. This year, because I didn't get any carpet clutches, I thought about just putting them in the incubator for giggles and shits, but I don't know. I really don't know what to do. The last year I put them in the closet because my closet was always open, so there's airflow going in there. Right. This year, my podcast table sits in front of my closet.
No,
I can't put them in the closet this year, so I'll either put them in the incubator just because it's there and I haven't used it in years, to be honest. Since 2020 was when I got my last carpet clutch, so that incubator's just been sitting in my room as a bedside table for as long as I've been in this house. So I might use it just because, and if I do, I'm going to set the baiter to 78. I don't really care to go to 80. I want my stuff to incubate longer. The longer incubation doesn't bother me at all. So if I do, I'll set it to 78, let them run in the baiter, but I've been thinking about just running them in here and just letting them ride. So we'll see.
I did that with that one corn clutch last year, and it it did definitely take longer. I didn't notice any major difference in the size of the babies. I mean, granted, one clutch, I may not see results that obvious, but I don't know. I like the having them just at a consistent temperature. My room,
but yeah, and that's
dialed in as yours. I got the AC vent and stuff.
Yeah, my AC vent's closed. My AC closed.
Mine has a diverter on it that pushes it away from there's a rack right there next to it, like my two stack of the XR20s. And so I have a diverter on it, so it's not blasting all the small stuff I have on top of that. And
yeah,
it just, I don't know. I like just not having to really worry about it. And it's just go there periodically, open the door. I vent I leave. What I do now with those Sistema boxes, because those clasps sometimes are on there so good, and I'm worried that if I'm putting too much effort into it, that I'll shift the whole box by accident. Yeah. I don't even clasp them when I put them in the incubator now. I will when they start pipping, I'll go ahead and lock it. Yeah. But until then, I just leave them unlocked, and then I just go in and vent them periodically, and then I just.
So I know I'm overthinking it this year, because I'm over here because I talked to Chris Paintshab. Chris Paintshab. He's one of our best friends. I love Chris to death. You know what I'm talking about. And he incubates everything, and he does the whole put a vent hole in the tub and then cover it with tape and then take off the tape at 45 days or something.
I put holes, but I don't cover them. I just leave them.
See, this year or last year, I put two small pinpoint holes in the tubs, and I just shoved them in the closet, let them ride, and they all 4 clutches hatched between 64 and 68 days or something like that. And the only difference I saw was when I used different incubation media. I think I had on 3 of the clutches I used Hatcherite, and that was perfect. Then I ran out and I got another double clutch and I used peat moss, and I think I got a little too wet. One baby came out severely deformed. One baby came out really, really small. So this year I have 3 bags of Hatcherite sitting right here next to me, and I know I'm ready for anything that comes. So this year I was like, well, if I put them in the incubator that has a fan in it, I'm like, if I leave the holes open, is that going to be too much airflow? Which I don't think would be an issue. Because I think they need some type of airflow. Let's be honest. When they're laid in the wild, it's not totally
So
concealed from the
after
airflow.
reading the Gunther book, which I need to read it again because that book, it's not big, it's not thick, but Mother of God is the information in it dense. It talks about that process of how, like, initially there's not a lot of gas exchange happening for eggs. Like, with that, I think within like the first half of incubation, you're going to slowly see it ramp up in terms of like the air exchange and stuff. But initially, yeah, they can be sealed off for the first, I think 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the species and how long we're talking. And then as you get closer to hatching and the development ramps up, like there is more air exchange and oxygen,
Right.
Gas exchange going on. And so that's sort of where the whole, like, at one point uncover a hole, next week uncover another hole, but with mine, like what I've done now for...
But do they need that is the question. Can you always have the air exchange in there, because
I have mine. Mine have, so I took like a 1/32 of an inch drill bit, like the smallest drill bit in the set I had, like it's tiny.
Yeah.
And I just put one hole in each corner of that Sistema box, and I don't cover them up or nothing. I just leave them as is, and I think that's enough, because they're also going to be, over time, they're going to be generating more heat. So as they develop, they're going to be putting off more heat. So the actual temperature in the egg box is going to get slightly warmer,
right,
or considerably warmer, depending on what we're talking about, and the ratio of space to the egg size and egg mass and stuff. It's going to get warmer in that box as you get closer to hatching as well. So I think having those holes to sort of help ventilate that a little bit and sort of even it out some helps. But yeah, I also open the lid like once a week. I'll go and pop the lid for 10 seconds in each, and then close it again. And that is the nice thing about having an incubator with like a glass door or a window that you can check on stuff without having to go in there and open it. Not that we're really hatching anything that's so sensitive that if we open the door for a minute or two to look at stuff, it's gonna ruin them. But
I might do a little experiment this year. I think I've decided I'm not going to do the cover the holes thing. But I think I'm going to shelve some in the snake room, and then I'm going to put some in the incubator at 78 and just see what happens. Cause I've got not quite a few. For me, it's quite a few. I think the fork line gopher is gravid. I know the Apalachicola female is gravid. I'm pretty sure the Santa Rosa female is gravid again. I'm really sure the Deckert's female is gravid.
hell yeah.
So I think I'm gonna put the Deckert's and the Apalachicolas in the incubator at 78. And then I'm going to shelve the Santa Rosas if I get a clutch from them. And then I just want to see the comparison of like how different the babies are, how long they incubated, and just like, do a little half and half. And if I get fork line gophers, I might shelve those. And if I get pine snakes, I'll incubate those, because those are going to be my most sought after clutches this year, other than Deckert's. Deckert's kind of came to a surprise for me, but my Deckert's rats are probably my favorite animals in the collection. So those might get incubated just because. But I'm probably not going to cover holes, and just see what happens.
There's a ton of variables with it. I think.
But I do think people overthink incubation severely. At least with like North American stuff. Yeah. I do think it's overthought a lot. Not talking bad about you, buddy, Chris. But I do think it's overthought a lot. You know, shelve them and let it ride. You know, it's and even like I think incubation in general, because like look at Owen McIntyre when his incubator failed, didn't realize it failed. He had a carpet clutch in there, and the incubator was off for like weeks, and that clutch still ended up hatching. It was like 80 something days or whatever, but like they still ended up hatching and they were okay. You know, it's like they're not as sensitive as you think. And like I know of people who have literally like had the eggs tripped over, threw their eggs on the ground, picked them up, put them back in, and they hatched. You know what I mean? Like they're not like they're not like fine china that
Well, you
will
also and
break
you
if
also
you do
have
anything wrong.
a certain window there where the embryo was not attached yet to the the upper part of whatever the roof of the shell is, depending on which angle they were at.
Right.
I think the book did mention something about like some species, they were, eggs were rotated accidentally, 3 weeks after they were laid and they still hatched.
Yeah.
So it depends.
I think this year, like last year was my first time breeding snakes since 2020. So I went a little overboard. I wouldn't say overboard. I candled everything and then I marked the top of the egg on every single egg. I separated them and all that stuff. And I think I'll candle them just for the sake of like my mindset of like seeing veins and stuff like that, just because like I like doing it. I think it's fun.
I do too. I give
like
it
seeing
time
inside
before I
the
do
eggs.
it, just that way I have a better chance of actually
seeing. Dude, that's
because I've candled other stuff before and it didn't look like there was anything inside. Didn't see any veins or nothing, but there was like a damn near fully developed animal in there. I don't know.
Well, with the Santa Rosas last year, dude, and the Pascos, I candled them the day I pulled them out, and you couldn't see a lot of veins, but you could see the embryo.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly make out that little circle up top of where they were, and so I marked them all where they were, and I separated all the eggs. And I don't know. I don't think I'm going to separate eggs this year. However they were laid is how I'm going to put them. Because like I said, I get like weird clumps. Last year, I always got like, there'd be 2 or 3 stuck together, and then there'd be like a couple by themselves, and then 2 stuck together, and blah, blah, blah. This year, I don't think I'm going to do that. I will candle just because I enjoy it, and it just like gives me something to look at, and I get too excited about it. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of things kind of up in the air this year of how I'm going to do stuff. I kind of want to use my incubator, not because I need to, but just because it's there and I want to use it. Like, I know I don't need to. Like I said, my room is dialed in right now. Like, I love how my temps are fluctuating right now. It's getting a little cooler in the mornings and at night, and it's dropping because right now it's 79 in here right now. Usually in the mornings, it's about 75 in here. So I'm getting a good fluctuation. Animals are doing really, really well. So I don't know. I might just throw some eggs on top of a cage in here and let them ride.
Yeah. So and part of the incubator
I'm also using these red lidded tubs for incubation boxes this year for the eggs.
See, I wanted to, but they're so shallow. I was like, if I have something, because I'm not big on separating either, and so I was like, when the corns lay in a freaking pyramid,
I
can't really put them in there. I gotta have something a little taller.
For me, because I looked at those Sistema boxes at Walmart, and I couldn't condone paying like what $6-7.
They're like $7 or $8.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that.
I was like, in the constant search for like the perfect egg box that you can buy at off the street. I got a couple of those because I was like, all right, I like these. The height's good, the size is good. Like they're not too small, they're not too big.
So what I'm
like rolling them and ruining them, like it just
So what I'm doing for the rat snakes, I'm going to use these bins, and for the Pituophis, I'm going to use the big blue lidded ones because they've got a lot more height. They're a lot more wide and long and all that. I'm going to use those for Pituophis because the eggs are bigger. They have more. Well, the gopher snake's not going to be huge eggs, but there likely will be a lot of eggs if they go. And so I'm going to use those. And again, talking to Paint Chab, he uses boxes that are very, very similar size to these, if not smaller. So I'm going to use those, fill them up about halfway with the Hatchright, and then rock and roll. And then the Pituophis, I'm going to use those blue little ones just to have a little bit more space in for more eggs or bigger eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, right now, I think the Deckerts is gravid. I think she's about to go into her pre-lay. The Apalachicola female is about to drop.
Nerodia that are going to pop?
We've got 2 Nerodia that are about to pop.
Are you like for sure like they're gravid? Like at this point, there's no question about it?
Yeah. There's one, the bigger of the 2 females. Dude, she's about to burst. I mean, she's
roll her like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah, she's huge. I'm checking on her every day, and you can tell she's uncomfortable. She's laying.
Walk in one day, there's just gonna be little worms all over the place, dude.
But even then, though, I don't think she's gonna have a big litter. Like, I really don't. I expect probably 8 babies from her because as far as like adult water snakes go, she's not huge.
Yeah.
So
citrus,
I'm
right?
the citrus. I'm expecting like a small to medium sized litter from her. And then the other female is even smaller, and the male's still breeding her. Like, she's grabbing, and he's still getting at it, dude. So I expect an even smaller one from her. So the Citrus County Bandits, they're both gravid. I know they're gravid. At least one, I'm 100%. The other one, I'm like 98%. And then the Apalachicola female is definitely gravid. Santa Rosa female, I'm pretty sure, is in the middle of her pre-lay shed now. I'm pretty sure the Fork Line female is gravid. Seminole County Yellows, I think, is coming up. They went a little delayed, I think, but they should be going. And then, so the other thing that was interesting, so Chris told me this the other day. If anybody is into Pituophis, you know who Jay Jacoby is. He's one of the premier Pituophis breeders in the country. He does amazing stuff. So he made a post the other day that said his northern pines were laying and his southern pines were just now breeding. So it's kind of the opposite of what you told me from Ron, what he told you at Daytona last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny that got brought up because, like, my male albino Florida pine has been off food for like a while now. He hasn't been eating. The female just ate the other day, but literally today I saw the male trying to breed the female. Like, his tail was all like pop, 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 like it was smacking the tub and
pimp slapping her.
Yeah, he wasn't breeding her, but he was on top of her and his tail was going all over the place, and he's still acting like a fool in there. So I'm curious how those are going to go. She's looking really swollen right now. She hasn't gone into a shed or anything, but she looks big.
Like some follicle development or something.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if she's not just now developing follicles, or maybe she's going into maybe she's ovulating. I don't know. So
that's why I am a firm believer of come the season, as long as it's something that isn't prone to eating its friends.
Yeah,
just put the male in, and then once you see signs of eggs, pull them.
I'm
lazy.
I'm separating to feed, and I'm keeping them together till I get eggs. Till I know she's gravid, I'm keeping them together, because you don't know. You don't know when she's going to cycle. You don't know when it's going to be. So they've been together pretty much constantly, other than feeding for, I think I pulled them out in February, something like that. They've been together constantly. And other than, again, the feed, male hasn't been feeding, the female has. So I'm just leaving them together, hoping for the best. So I'm wondering if their cycling might not be a little later. So we'll see. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to talk to Ron about that when we see him at Daytona, assuming he's going, which I'm sure he is. But
I just wanted to open the tub and see what they were doing because the male's on top of the female constantly. Female looks swollen. He's not breeding her or anything, but I don't know. But I tell you what, the most aggressive breeders I have had this season have been the Deckards, which I didn't even know if they would go. Because they're not big, but like, dude, the male has been really, really aggressive. Like, it seems like every time I do something in the enclosure, he is like chasing her, he's grabbing her behind the head and just breeding her like, but it's only like when I mess with stuff in there, which is weird. It's not really, I don't know, it's just been kind of random. Um, but no, I'm 90% sure she's grabbing now. She's been because yesterday or not yesterday, this weekend I just rearranged their enclosure a little bit. I put 2 smaller hides in there, and then I put a small lay box in there because she's not that big. I put that in there, so I kind of rearranged the whole thing because originally they had like a perch and then 1 big hide that they could both fit in. So I changed it to where they had 2 small hides and a lay box, so I had a little bit more room in there. And male's been leaving her. When I did that, the male was chasing her around, biting her, like trying to breed her again.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, she's just kind of been at the back of the tub. She made her little spot in the mulch and has just been laying there. And she appears pretty swollen. And she refused food the last time. So 2 feedings ago, the male refused and the female ate. Last week, which was Saturday, the male ate and the female refused. And she looks awfully swollen. And she's not a big snake, so I don't expect a big clutch out of them. But oh my god, dude, I love my Deckards so much. But like without a doubt, they're my favorite rat snakes, if not my favorite snakes in the collection. So if those go, I'll be over the moon, and I'm pretty confident. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, man. Like there's potentially 3 different genuses that are going to be going this year with the Pantherophis, Nerodia, and Pituophis. And then if everything goes, I'm looking at possibly close to 100 babies this year, which is mind-boggling. If everything goes, because I think the fork line girl, if she drops, I think she's gonna give me 20 plus eggs.
Really?
Yeah, because
they have smaller eggs with bigger clutches.
Yeah,
really?
So, yeah, with the gopher snake. So it's kind of weird. Like it really depends on where you are. So Kankakee bulls, smaller eggs, bigger clutches.
Right.
The Texas bulls, bigger eggs, smaller clutches.
Yep.
Yeah. So the fork line stuff, they're a Texas gopher snake, but they do smaller eggs, bigger clutches. The pine snakes are bigger eggs, smaller clutches. So if she goes as big as she is, again, this is our first time, so if she does go, it may not be as big as I think it'll be.
Bunch of little hateful units.
Yeah, dude. If she drops like the clutch, I think there's gonna be it's gonna be a big clutch of a bunch of demon snakes. Like they're gonna be a bunch of pissed off little gopher snakes, and yeah, I'm really excited, man. If I can cross off Pituophis this year to get eggs from, I'll be ecstatic. So.
Tyson did ask, have you ever tried eggs in the dark versus open to light? And he said he just reread Soderbergh's corn book, and it says that he has better success with eggs in the dark.
I've never done like complete darkness. It's always been dark because so like last year I did them in the closet. My lights off in the snake room most of the day, unless I'm in here. So it's not like pitch black, but it's dark. And then in the incubator, my incubator's black. There's a small window up front, so and nobody's home most of the day, most days, and especially in my bedroom, like it's off. So I've never done like pitch black, but yeah, they're normally dark.
Mine, yeah, I mean a very large chunk of incubation time for my stuff is in the dark, just because the closet, like if we're not in it, the light's off and there's no windows in that closet or anything. It's a small walk-in, but I haven't noticed any difference. But I'm sure Soderbergh, with the amount of corns he's produced over the years, like if he says that there's something to it, I would believe it.
Yeah, 100%.
And
it makes more it makes more sense because in the wild they're buried. You know what I mean? So it's dark. You know?
I don't see how exposure to light, like prolonged exposure, would make that big of a difference, except for maybe like
I think I was about to say towards the end. I think it might. If it gets light out, they'd be like, "Oh shit, I can see outside." Like I'm not going yet. You know.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I don't know. I'm not fucking leaving. But I have to ask, what is hateful units? I'm curious.
That's just a term we've dubbed for the angry snakes in the house.
Angry snakes.
The hateful units.
Hateful units. Trademarked by Katie McKay, Justin's wife.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, if I get these gopher snakes to go, it's going to be a bunch of hateful units. That is.
Yeah.
They're going to do, because like the female I have is like.
She's a nut, dude.
She's a nut. She's a nut job, dude. Like she's bad. And like I thought, so I had her out a couple weeks ago to kind of like palpate her, and she was weirdly calm. Like for the first time, as long as I've had her, she was weirdly calm. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe she is gravid. But dude, like she's right back to the same, man. Like I pulled her out to put the lay hide in there, and bro, she was out for blood. Like almost worse than she normally is. Like she was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So that makes me wonder even more if she's not gravid, because she's like, don't touch me, bitch. Like I'm full of eggs. We're gonna tussle. We're gonna tussle right now. So I'm hopeful, man. She hasn't left that lay hide since I put it in there. Like the day I put it in there, she went in there and she hasn't left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to kind of let her do her thing. I'm not going to try and pull her out and palpate her. I'm not going to look at her too much. Once it gets closer to 2 weeks, I'll start checking the lay hide a little bit more frequently. But yeah, man, I'm just excited, man. You know, I got a lot of stuff going this season, and yeah, I'm ready for it, man. It's going to be a busy season. But I'm ready for the challenge, you know. For me, I guess in my thought process, I'm like, it's about fucking time. Like I've had a lot of these snakes for a long time, and it's like I'm ready to see some babies come to fruition, especially from these Apalachicolas and the Seminoles. Like, granted, the male Seminole was a loner. Chris Montross loaned him to me to breed this year, and but the male I have is big enough. The female I have is the one I didn't raise from a hatchling, but I raised from about a year and a half, 2 years old. And yeah, so you know, it's cool to see them. But the Apalachicolas, I got those like fresh out the egg, man. I raised those from babies. And so now
even the Deckers were tiny though when you got those too, right? I mean,
not
they were fresh,
not the ones that bred this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my other pair.
Gotcha.
And Dustin, yes, only 3 genuses.
We can't all be the overachiever THP man of the year.
Yeah,
Dustin Gron.
I'm happy with it. It's more than I've ever done in a year. But it's only ever been one I had carpets 2 years in a row, and then I did 2 rat snakes, 4 clutches, but 2 rat snake pairs last year. And this year I'm hoping for Nerodia, Pantherophis, and Pituophis. So we'll see. Christian asked, did you have all the tub space ready? No, not yet, because I'm waiting to see numbers. Once I see numbers, I'll get a bunch of these style tubs here and just have them all over the room of babies. This year I am probably changing tubs. I'm going to try and go with like an actual latch style instead of like the little push on lids.
So
yeah,
on that front, I put one of the rhinos up on Morph Market.
Oh yeah,
and that has been a very lukewarm experience with. So oddly enough, when you put in the ad more individual pictures and pictures of parents available upon request, you're going to have people that ask for those and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I'm not angry. I'm not upset. Like, that's part of the whole like selling reptiles thing. I just find it odd that people are like, I'm requesting those pictures, and you send them and you're like, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And then you just get left on red.
So I think an easy way to not make that as annoying for you, like obviously it's annoying when somebody doesn't respond, but I think any pictures you're willing to send, have them in an album that you can access immediately.
Oh yeah,
so you're not scrolling through photos and
like
all that,
and
then just like grab the pictures you want to send and just send them off. And if they respond, they respond. If not, they don't.
It's just bizarre. I mean, I've said it for a long time now. Like, I go in when I get a message from somebody, be it on Morph Market or Facebook, about available stuff, I am fully expecting them to just fall off the face of the earth or not buy. And so it's like you don't get your hopes up. Don't expect people to buy if they message you. Like, they're probably not going to. So it's just funny when you post, say, I have more pictures available, and then people ask for them, and then they just disappear.
That's the one thing with producing.
Did you just want pictures of rhinos? Is that what?
Yeah, right.
Is that all?
With potentially producing as much as I might this year, that is the one thing I'm not looking forward to. Is I didn't create a morph market. I think last year I produced like 40 some rat snake babies, and I managed to pretty much move them along as I could. I wasn't in any rush to move them along. But this year, with the amount that I may be producing, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and create a morph market account.
So they now have a $5 a month tier, but you only get like 30 listings.
30?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I mean,
that doesn't sound. I thought the other one that you just pay, because they have different ones where you can pay for the year or pay monthly.
All the plans you can either pay annually or pay monthly, but
yeah,
this is a recent one that they just added that I signed up for.
I mean, 30 listings would be enough, especially because I know they made a thing.
Wait, I lied. It's Hobbyist, which is the new one. Store ad count is 3.
$3 a month?
No, like you get 3 ads.
Oh, 3 ads.
30 is the basic one. That's the one that's $11 a month or 19 month to month.
And with that, like, I know, like, they made a thing to where, like, for certain species you couldn't post like one ad and it'd be like several available. You had to post each one individually.
Well, and I was gonna just do the free because like I just have that one rhino up, but the ad amount it's capped at $500. So if your animal's more than listed for more than that, like, it doesn't let you post it. So I had to bump it up.
Yeah. Luckily, I think the part that's like, only lists, you can only list animals for sale. You can't be like one post for a group. I don't think that applied to any of the stuff that I work with. luckily. So I think the basic one more than the $5 a month one, but the
standard
next
is 100 listings a month.
Is that the next cheapest one?
So there's the hobbyist one, which is the $5 a month one, basic, which is the 30 ads for $19 a month, and then standard is the 100 ads for $49 a month.
How much is that for the year? Like, is there a yearly price on there?
Annual is $324, which comes out to $27 a month.
For the standard?
For the standard.
How much is the next one down?
Basic is $132 a year, which comes out to $11 a month.
Yeah, I would do the 132 and just pay the upfront price.
Yeah, I don't. It's just the whole morph market thing. Like I'm like, I'm gonna sign up for one of those plans. I'm gonna get some stuff on there. It'll be great. And then in the Cornstars chat, Westmoreland or Jeff from Cascade Corns, like they'll talk about the goofiness that they had to sort of deal with for the day, and it was like,
yeah,
nope.
I don't want to do it, man. And then Tyson just said, can try the Find Your Reptile that Westmoreland is.
Yeah, and I haven't checked that one out yet.
I haven't even heard of that.
There's a couple other ones now.
I know you were testing one out.
There's Reptiverse, which, I mean, I just haven't. I need to go on there and see what it looks like currently, because I've been so damn busy. It's not something I've even been worried about. But yeah, throw them on Fauna. Yeah. I gave up on trying to log on to Fauna because I couldn't remember my freaking password, and every time I try to
Fauna,
it locks me out.
Fauna even exist anymore?
Oh, it does. It very much does.
I have a Fauna account.
I feel like it's kind of like the Mad Max of selling platforms at this point.
If you want to, I'll put it to you this way: if you want an app to access Fauna, you got to go on Tapatalk. That's how I have Fauna on an app on my phone, and it's on Tapatalk, and I have to go to Fauna through that.
The beginning.
I don't even know what Tapatalk is. I was just told that's how I. That's
the beginning of the end for our species overall started when they got rid of the BOI. Like ever since then,
was the BOI
the Board of Inquiry, where you like went and read saw the arguing of people who had bad transactions with certain people, and like the pages upon pages of bickering. That was like the best thing I had for entertainment for a long time. And as soon as they got rid of that, I was like, we're doomed. This is it. Like, yeah. Dude, it was amazing.
Nice.
You wanted it. That was also a very useful tool where if you hadn't heard of somebody, but you weren't sure about them, you just did a quick search on there. It was either very revealing or you were probably the first person that had ever dealt with them because they weren't on there, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, we were a proper country. And then
and Joe from Meteoric Serpents said, I still like Morph Market, made sales on there in my first year this year with very little reviews or credibility to pet people and others. So like I don't want anybody to take this as to say we're knocking Fauna, like, or not. We're not marking Morph Market, or that we're not knocking Morph Market. It's more so like the people that are
the general atmosphere, like the environment, the landscape of selling live animals currently.
And Brandon, Brandon said, or you can move them to someone who vends shows a lot and see if they'll move. I am like 100% on the, like, if I can wholesale animals, 100% I will. If I can sell bulk animals for less money to somebody who will resell whatever, I am not against that at all. Because that's less headache for me. Like, if I get the right kind of stuff, I'll be hitting up guys like Clint. I'd be like, hey, man, like, I have a lot of this stuff. If you want them, I'll sell them to you for cheap. And it makes it easier for me, like, because I'm not in this to make a bunch of money. Like, if I can get them all gone at a wholesale price to somebody who's going to take care of them and possibly sell them to their new homes, that's fine with me. That doesn't bother me whatsoever. It's just a matter of doing that. And then he said, I'm not even saying wholesale, I'm just saying a friend. Problem is, I don't have a lot of friends that sell at shows.
He doesn't.
Besides
Doesn't have any
Billy.
friends.
No, I don't have many friends at all. You know.
Yeah, and I've sold stuff on Morph Market too. Like Morph Market has, like, it hasn't been an issue. Like, I've never posted and been like, I've never sold anything on Morph Market, even though I've tried. Like, I have sold stuff on there, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just it's a strange time of, I think it's just the internet overall and how it has affected the way people communicate, to where people feel like it's okay to just like ding dong and ditch your inbox, where they'll ask you a question and then they'll say, they'll say they read it and then you just never hear from them again. It's like a simple thanks would have been nice. Something to tell me that you're like, don't leave me hanging kind of thing, So.
I guess my thing is, like, I've been that guy before that's been like, hey man, can I get a little bit more information? But like, oh, I can't do it, But I always preface with my initial message, like, hey man, like, I can't get these right now, but like I do want to know more about these in case I come into a situation where I can, and then I never ghost anybody, because like, if I know I like will definitely never not be able to, like, I'm not going to message somebody, but I have been like, hey man, like, what are the details on this, but I'll specify, like, I can't do anything right now, but give me a little time and I might,
you have them, you have them in a month or whatever. I'll circle back. And
yeah. You specify that though. Don't just be like, hey man, can I get details on this? And you send it and then never message back. Like, that's fucked up. There's been a lot of times where I couldn't afford something right then and there. So I'll be like, hey man, can I send you like $200 like now to like hold them down for me, and I'll send you the rest later. I'm not afraid to ask people if I can put down a deposit, like, at all. Like, don't be afraid to do that.
Deposit in hand is better than no money at all.
And I'll even specify, like, this is a non-refund. I'll say, like, I'm going to send you this deposit, and it's like, I agree it's non-refundable, like, and if I bail, like, you keep the money that I already sent you, like, this is a non-refundable deposit, and if something happens, like, that's fine. Like, I wasted your time, but at least you got something out of it. So, and I wouldn't have a problem doing that with somebody else.
Brandon said it's the shiny toy. They see it, inquire, and then think about it after the message and probably realize they fucked up. I think that's correct, 100%. Except for the probably realize they fucked up part. I just think at this point people don't even care. They're like, cool, whatever. No. Thanks for the pictures. See you later.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And Joe and I have talked a little bit about you said general social media marketing yourself is invaluable. And
I'm gonna dip off for a second. I'll be right back.
I agree. We've talked about it, and just that's been a really frustrating part too, especially with Facebook. Mostly, running ads on there is not nearly as effective as it used to be. Even if it was just small ad runs, like, $30 here, whatever. Instagram isn't as bad, but I feel like it's definitely worse than it was as well. Like, as far as you put some money into it, you're not going to get much back on it. I've run a couple ad campaigns on Facebook for Fulvius, and they've done horribly. And it's just like, do I have to throw an exorbitant amount of money at it for you guys to like actually give me something for it? Because that's kind of all it is like, however much you pay, that's how much they're willing to lift the veil so that people can actually see your page. Like, I don't think they're doing anything other than lifting that curtain. And if you pay top dollar, guess what? That curtain opens up all the way. More people see you. You're only paying a couple, $50, whatever. Like, you're going to get a little bit. You're not going to get much. And it's gotten worse. It's gotten to the point to where it's become almost entirely pay to win, pay to play. Because previously, a couple of years ago, I could do a $20, $30 ad and it actually do decent. It wouldn't do great. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to do phenomenally for that price, but just something to kind of build a little bit more of some traction with a page. But now, like, you throw 20 or 30 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever, like, they still don't give you a whole lot. And Instagram has pretty much been the same experience as well with Fulvius stuff. So, and that's doing both, like choosing the targeting for the ads and then letting Meta choose the target, like choosing who sees the ads. Like, both of those have been, I've had more success by choosing them myself rather than letting Meta figure it out. Even with the new AI stuff that they're claiming is revolutionary or whatever, it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating. Like, Instagram, at least you can do the footwork yourself and like follow people and message people and sort of like, build a following without having to put a bunch of dollars into it. Like Facebook, if you're not paying for ads, like you're not getting seen. It's not happening.
Yeah, and that's why I like putting out lists on Instagram before I do anything on like something like Morph Market or Fauna or whatever. I'll put out a list of everything, and normally somebody hits me up for something, and that way, I can at least get those out the door. One less thing I got to post on Fauna, and
yeah. Well, I like to also utilize it, like people that are following, like what we do with the discount codes here. Like, if you're listening or watching, like, the discount codes. If someone's following me on Instagram, run a, like, hey, if you're following and you're seeing this, like, you get an extra $50 off or whatever. Like,
yeah,
just
and that's
a
and
small
right,
thank you, like stuff like that. It's nice to sort of leverage that kind of thing and use it to, help people sort of get a deal and that kind of thing.
And with that in mind, I'll throw this out right now. I've got one pair of Pasco County yellows left from what I produced last year. I haven't been very open about it because I don't want to. The female that's left is the nicest, probably the nicest one out of the two clutches I got. I'm either going to keep her and exchange it for one of my original holdbacks, or I'm going to sell her and the other male I have. But I have one pair of Pasco County yellow rats I need to sell. So if anybody listening is interested in those, hit me up and I'll give you a good deal on them. Not because I want to sell them, but because you listen to the show and you know us, and I'm more than willing to give you a really good deal on them. So if you're interested, hit me up. I'll hook it up for sure. And Joe, I'm talking to you because I know you talked about getting some locality yellow rats. So if you want them, hit me up.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Joe.
Drink the Kool-Aid, Joe. You need some locality stuff.
It's yellow rat snake musk flavored.
It's actually not, man. Like, they're not bad. They're really not bad. But for preference, these Pasco yellows they're the only ones in the hobby. They're the only ones that will be in the hobby for at least 2 years to when I get a male up to size, because the breeder male I had rolled on me, unfortunately. So the female's still around, but I'm not going to be able to breed him again until I get one of my males up to size, and anybody that has them right now all has babies that I produced. So if you're interested in the last pair that will be available, let me know. I think there's only 3. If I remember, there's 3 people that have them currently. There's going to be 4. And I've got 1 pair left. So you will be one of 5 people in the entire country to have this.
And Joe, you could be one of 6 people to have one of my first rhino babies. Just make it a package deal.
Yeah, I've got rhinos. Yeah, we can ship them all together. You're going to be at Daytona. I'll deliver, Joe. Come on, baby.
Come on, man. You can't be pressuring.
I'm not pressuring anybody. I'm just saying,
pressure. It's messed up.
These Pascos are fucking cool, man. Like, they're really, really neat. A lot of yellow rat babies hatch out like black and gray. These hatched out pretty much yellow. Hints of yellow, but they very, very different from other stuff. And yeah, they're They're really cool. I am more than okay holding on to them. That's why I haven't posted about them or tried to throw them up somewhere.
I'll keep every damn rhino I produce until I die.
Joe, if you're even remotely interested in a really cool pair of locality yellows, hit me up and I'll make it worth your while. I'll say that. They're really really neat. And like my thing is like I just want to
include the Dollar Tree tubs.
I just want them in good hands, man. Like that's all it is. Like I just want my babies in good hands, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah, I've got one pair of Pascos left, and if they don't sell, I'll either keep them or give them to Preston. that's just how that's gonna go. Because Preston got a pair. Chris Montross got 2.2. We traded babies, and some friends of Gabe got a pair, and Derek Dykstra. I'm sending Derek Dykstra a pair, and then I've got one pair left. So the Pascos are cool, man. I just I love them so much. They're really cool. So can't wait to produce more in fucking 2 years.
Yeah. This will be the third year in a row that I'm like, I'm gonna produce chondros this year.
We've heard that one before.
This time I think I might actually mean it. We'll see. I'm feeling pretty good.
I could dude, I could just bitch slap you with what happened with that female.
I know.
I really could. Like I want to assault you over that one. I don't mean to rub salt in that wound, but I just like, this is the one moment I have for I told you so.
Yeah, I know.
So that's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, I hope you do, man. I really
shut up.
I hope you do it. I do, buddy.
That little Maniquari I have is slamming food.
Feed him up, man.
I've been feeding the snot out of that damn thing. But with the Pascos and the Deckerts, something I brought up, like mentioned earlier, that I wanted to get into was like,
fuck you, Brandon.
I'm trying. Damn it.
I produce cool snakes. There's not cool to use. So
I get in my own way.
You can go fuck yourself. I'm working on albino pines, dude. That's about as cool as it gets. So,
says the guy who's never had rhinos.
Well. Anyways,
I've got the Bear and I shirt. You don't.
You didn't give me one, so
I haven't even made them available yet.
Exactly. Anyways, what were you saying about Deckerts? The best rat snake
like
out there?
What for you? What is it about for you Deckerts, but like a species in general, that makes you rank them as your favorite? Like, what is it about a species that makes you go like, this is it? Like, if someone said tomorrow you got to get rid of everything except these, and you're like completely okay with it. What is that? What are the factors there that?
I'll specify this. If somebody said you had to get rid of everything except this, I wouldn't be okay with it. For starters, it's like one of those things like, oh, I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't. Like, I don't want to give up the rest of my stuff. But if I could only pick one species to keep, I would hope I would have the option of 2 different genuses at least. But if I could only keep one Pantherophis and one Pituophis, it would be Deckerts for Pantherophis, and it would be Janai for Pituophis, without a doubt. No questions asked.
Why?
The Deckerts you have to interact with. I'll say this because For one, my Deckards really don't really musk like much. They're not very bitey, but with the Deckards, like they're also not. The Deckards aren't flighty. Like they are in the sense of like they can be a little defensive, especially as babies, but they 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 anchor onto you more than any other yellow I have. As soon as I take out any of my Deckards, they immediately wrap and they want to anchor onto me, and they sit there and they wrap tight. They don't flail like a lot of other rat snakes. And they also have this like they're one of the most unique looking rat snakes in my opinion. They have like semi stripes, kind of like a yellow or an Everglades, but they also have a lot of blotches, like a gray
like
rat
a
snake.
Greenish.
Shut the fuck. Greenish don't have blotches, even if you want to call Greenish its own thing. Greenish don't have blotches. Greenish rats, bleh, they're striped, just like a yellow. That's why they're just yellows. Deckards are much more blotched, and they don't have the stripes like they have. They have some striping, depending on the individual, but they're much more blotched. And they have some of them have a little bit more oranges and reds like an Everglades. Some of them have a little bit more yellow like a yellow rat, but they all have this like almost it's going to sound anticlimactic, but they have like almost a brownish like coppery color to them, and they are truly like any like and like I had to explain this to to Preston, like somebody else who's super into locality stuff, and I'm like, dude, you have to hold them when you handle them. You see the difference. Like some of them, like Chris Montross saying right now, they have like this burnt orange,
Like he's like a
coppery
genie, like you mentioned
yeah.
Deckards, and he's like, oh, Deckards.
He's there, dude. I'm telling you, man. Like
Rub the bottle, and here he comes.
if you are into locality rat snakes, Deckards are the perfect example of something like truly unique between their color, their size, like everything about them is just incredible. They are, but like I don't know what it is about them, but I tell like my buddy Jack Oliver, and they're small, they're not very big. Jack Oliver is a good example. I said, Jack, I want you to. I put some Deckards in Jack's hands. Jack's a very good friend of mine. He's one of the only people that have actually been in my room outside of Justin. And I said, I'm going to put these snakes in your hands. I want you to tell me the first thing they do and why they're different. I put them in their hand, and he said they immediately wrapped around my wrist, anchored, and just chilled. Like they didn't do anything. They didn't flail. They didn't muss. They didn't freak out. They literally wrap around your wrist and they sit there, and they're super chill and they're beautiful. And the last time he was at my house, I told him I got some more Deckards from Chris, and he was like, "Can I hold them?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." He goes, "Do they do the same thing as your other one do?" I said, "Yes, they do." And I put them both in his hands, and he was like, "Oh my god, these are amazing." And I can pull up a picture if anybody wants to see. Justin, if you don't mind me screen sharing.
No, I'm trying to find one on Google, but it's hard. I feel like if I throw up
You
something,
can't find one on Google.
If it's the wrong one, Montross might shoot me in the leg.
No. I have a really good picture that I have to find. Both of them I've got like with a background of flowers and stuff. It's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken of.
Whack.
Oh, not whack. Here we go. If I can got him. Luckily, I know how to do this now because of flipping pin.
I prefer the leg.
So I don't
a major artery in the leg rather than absolutely ruining an ankle.
What are you talking about?
Montross said he'd shoot me in the ankle, not the leg, and I said I'd prefer the leg. More space for whoa! Look at that.
Yeah, I know it's all
Matrix.
Boom.
Look at that.
Look at those things, man. I mean, so
I was
like,
talking about the flowers in the background.
what's that?
So I was talking about the flowers in the background.
Oh, but like you can see with like this is the male right here. You can see he's a little bit more like normal tone. The female is a little bit more red. You can see it really well right here. And you can see like some of the striping going on, but you can also see the blotches in this guy. Obviously you can't see the entire body, but like this just so shows the contrast between them so well and the variability between them. And it's like they're perfect in every way possible, in my opinion. I and this is how they'll sit. If I take them both out, dude, like they clamp onto me and they don't flail. They're not hard to handle. They chill out really well. They're not big. This is the female that is gravid currently, and just like they are without a doubt my favorite locality of rat snakes. These are, for anybody that doesn't know, Deckerts are the southern Key Largo locality of rat snake, and they're incredible. Like, I know I can't talk about them enough, but even here, like you can see the blotches on the female right here. This picture doesn't even do them justice. But they are amazing. And if somebody told me you can only have one, again, they're all yellows, and we're not going to get into all that.
Why
But
not?
if because I don't even want to, so I'm going to get mad. But if somebody said I can only have one type of rat snake, it would be Deckerts without a shadow of doubt. I wouldn't think twice about it. They are just they are incredible, and the people that have seen them in my collection or seen them in general, I have a buddy, my buddy, our buddy Gabe. He's not super into yellows, but he's like, dude, as soon as you produce Deckerts, he's like, I want some. Like, people who like rat snakes will love Deckerts, and I cannot say enough about them. They are they are incredible. Um, yeah, just it's like Chris Mantra said. He said he sent me an image as well. Oh, did he message you?
See how he puts the Decker tie in quotation marks as if it's not real?
Dude, look at that thing, man. Look at that snake.
Even
Like,
Montrose doesn't believe in them.
and,
No, they
and
are cool. What did I like last time I came over to your house? I saw them. I was like, they're like the bear eye of Florida almost, with the sort of the silvers and the oranges.
they're just, dude, I cannot express the amount of love I have for that locality. Like, and it was instant. I didn't know they existed for like a while. Then all of a sudden,
I didn't know until I think you got some.
yeah, Mondros was like, oh, like, hey, here's these. And I'm like, when can I get them? And like, as soon as possible. Like, I need
Like
them.
any good dealer, he was like, right now, if you got the coin, my man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, they're incredible. If I produce any this year, depending on ratios, there are 2 people that will get any.
Me?
No, not you.
Okay.
Wait, what? You want Deckerts?
No.
Okay, then shut the fuck up.
Damn.
But there are 2 people that will get any, depending on the clutch size I get this year, and I'm keeping the rest, dude. Like, I could have an entire army of these things, and I'm not going to be mad about it. Like, I want, yeah, I want so many of these things, dude. Like, they're unlike any other rat snake, in my opinion. Between the way they act, don't get me wrong, they're a little bit more finicky. I haven't produced any, but from talking to Chris, the babies can be a little bit more finicky as far as babies go, and all that. But they're a truly unique locality. And Chris said, just Northern Keys. My stock is from Southern Key Largo, and I also have the stock that Chris has. All my animals have come from him. He said it's just that it was just not anymore insular yellow locale. Like they're yellow rat snake. But when I can hand you a yellow rat. Okay, I don't like what the screen is doing. You need to change that. There we go. That's much better. But I can put a yellow in your hands, and then I can put a Deckerts in your hands, and you're gonna know the difference. 100%. Like they're very, even though they're not, they are. They're just incredible. And Chris also said range from lower Metacumby Key North to Key Largo. So they have a little bit of a range. I also have also from Chris, not captive bred from Chris, but Chris and I both have Minnesota Keys rats, which are kind of similar, a little bit more striped, still act kind of similar, but they look more Everglades-esque, in my opinion. At least the adults do. But Deckerts just they take the cake for me, man. Like pretty much at this point, pretty much all-time favorite snakes.
Yeah, I love this picture. Hold on.
Wait, are you about to put up babies?
Yeah.
I think I know which baby picture you're about to put up.
I love it.
You putting it up?
Yeah, I had to send it in the chat and then download it onto my computer because Chris is sending me things through Instagram like a freak.
Oh, these are Minnesotas.
Minnesotas. Minnesoters.
Shut up.
Come, my lady. Come, my lady. Be my butterfly, sugar baby.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So like those are
full of boyga.
Those are the Deckerts. The Minnesotas that I have are captive bred and born F1s.
I like how this one didn't get the memo that it's the threats behind it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like ready to go.
Yeah.
He's just like,
the picture here are I got a little confused. The picture here are Deckerts. The ones the Minnesotas I have are captive bred and born F1s. From a group that Chris got. Yeah, those are all captive bred Deckerts.
The hateful units.
Yeah, those are hateful units, man. They're sassy, but man, they're just people don't get it until you have some in your hand. Like they really don't. Like I had my very good buddy Preston. He's one of my best friends of this entire hobby.
Thanks.
I said one of. You're there. That's a lot like what my pair looks like.
Yeah.
Like look at all the blotches on those things, man. And this is what I mean. Like you can see the stripes kind of mid-body esque, like right there, but you can also see like the blotches in them, dude.
Those like, dead little eyes.
They're just incredible.
Ain't a thought behind them.
They're cool, man.
Except for like the windows shutting down sound.
No, man, even that, man, like they're something else. Truly an incredible locality that I am very, very grateful to own and have. Big shout out to Chris Montross. He's pretty much the leading guy with those. I remember at Daytona last year, Justin came up to me. He's like, "Hey man, somebody's got Deckerts over here." And he pointed out to me. I looked at it. I said, "That's an Everglades." And I walked away.
Yeah, here I am trying to be a good friend and looking out from a boy and being like, "Hey dude, there's a Deckerts over here."
Yeah.
He's like, that's not a Deckard's, dude. I was like,
I just
oh, my apologies.
I just walked off, like, because, like,
He looked at it for like
there's
30 seconds. He's like, nah, and just walked.
yeah, like, because, like, because you know what they look like. Some of them can be kind of red, and, like, I'm sorry, I don't trust a label
Well,
just
after
slapped
seeing
on
the
something.
pictures and seeing yours, and now
You
looking
get it.
back, like, yeah, I was like,
You
that
get it.
wasn't.
No. I
That wasn't.
literally I looked at that thing for 15 seconds and I was like, nope, walking away. Like,
I think if we took Montrose over there to look at, he might have had a stroke.
no, dude. Like,
He would have
because that's the
leaped
thing.
over the
It's a
table
different.
and
It's
beat
a
him.
diff because that thing was like fully striped. It was like super red, and somebody just slapped the label Deckard's on there. And I was like, nope, bye bye.
Sean asked if you have pictures of the adult Pasco.
I am currently scrolling through my Peaktars to see. Oh, I'm way far back. Hold on. I gotta find some because I know I have some in here. I gotta find them.
Sometimes I feel like
But Chris, since you're in the chat, go ahead and tell everybody how cool those Pascos are, man. Because you got some. There's some unique little babies.
the
They're
Polk
cool.
County ones have stood out to me because he had a picture of one of the. I think it was a Polk in that. Yellow
Don't even get into it.
Oof, those are nice.
The Polk County he used to have that was blotched still hurts me to this day that I don't own that animal. Where is
Together we climb.
There we go. Hold on.
Wading through a sea of dick pics.
Pretty much. All right.
Montra said some deep dark, some lighter.
Yeah, so that was the other cool thing about those Pascos is some of them are really dark, some of them are really light. Like, and I gave Montrose a pair of each. Like, I pretty much picked the darkest ones that I wasn't going to keep, gave them to Chris, then picked the lightest ones that I wasn't going to keep, gave them to Chris.
That's what I did with Baird's. Like, the darkest and the lightest ones were the whole bags.
Yeah. I don't know how you do what you do with yours, but y'all are gonna have to deal.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing either.
I don't either.
You're like sharing your screen, not the window. That's why.
Yeah,
you goof.
So that's the female. She's a little bit of that darker phase look to them. She's got a little bit more of those burnt yellow look to her. Really good looking. And then that was the male that is no longer with me.
You sunburnt.
Yeah, that was back.
Wear some sunscreen.
That was back in midsummer when I was fishing a lot. And then there we go. That's a better picture of the male that sired that clutch. So he's a little bit. They've got like really bold stripes. The male had the lighter of the colors, so he had that really like kind of a pale yellow to him, and then the female had that more like burnt orange
toasted
yellow look to her. Yeah. There's a good picture of her. So really, really cool. And almost like with some yellows, you can almost see like where the saddles want to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see my cursor. Like there's like a dark patch there, dark patch there.
Yeah. Where they were.
Yeah, where they were. And this is an adult animal. So and they're just a really cool locality. This is the male. He was a bit smaller. I really, really liked the male, man. He was cool, and I'm really, really sad he didn't establish well with me. But yeah, he was a really unique animal, and just really, really beautiful, and really, really calm. The babies, I can't say the babies are calm per se. They definitely are a little feisty. But they're really cool. Really unique locality, and they hatched out with color. A lot of time, baby, you can put baby yellows, baby grays, and baby blacks all on the same table, and you almost won't be able to tell the difference between the two of them or between the three of them. But like these babies, like they hatched out with color. And with one shed, they had even more color, and they've just developed even more. That's why the one female that the female with the pair that I have available, she is still almost gray. She's super light, and that's why like I almost want to keep her and maybe put the light female that I was originally keeping for sale instead of her, because I really want to see how she turns out. But yeah, it's they're a really cool locality, really fun, really unique, and I'm just grateful to have them. Chris said his 2.2 are already on hoppers. Jesus Christ. I need to up my feedings. Good God. And yeah, they definitely had some bold stripes, barbecue and fit. They definitely had some really bold stripes, and there a lot of mine are starting to get more striped. I can only imagine that Chris's are getting even more stripes since they're already on hoppers. Mine are not on hoppers; they're on small fuzzies. Then Jeremy asked how the White Spring Grays are doing. So Jeremy is a lot of the reason that I have some of these different localities. Jeremy sent me the White Springs. So they're Hamilton County Grays from a wild caught adult. She dropped eggs. He sent me babies. I kept a reverse trio, and then I gave a reverse trio to Preston Converse. So we both have those. And then Jeremy's also the reason I have the Pascos and a Columbia County, Florida intergrade. They're all doing great, man. I've got the reverse trio of the Hamilton counties or White Spring Grays. Those are really, really cool. Really, really cool locality of grays. And then the intergrade animal is just getting more and more pink with every shed. It's crazy. So, and Chris says every 7 to 14 days with feeding. And that's pretty much the same thing I do. I think my issue is I'm afraid to give them too big of a meal, so I wait I wait too long.
Problem solved.
I'm not cutting my rodents.
on.
I'm not doing it, dude. Like I don't real. I know I'm not disagreeing with science. I'm not disagreeing with the science behind it. I'm just not going to do it. I think I agree that it might be a good thing, especially with certain species, but
every species,
I think it's dumb. Personally, Justin is a cutter, needs therapy.
Can you take me higher?
I just I'm not going to deal with that. It's I don't know. I'm not for the whole cut your rodents thing. I think it's cool. I like the science behind it and what you did with it. It's
more than just cool. It's awesome.
I just I don't see I see the purpose, but I'm not going to do it. I'll tell you straight up, I won't. It's just another thing that I got to do. And
one more thing to benefit your animals.
It's not but the benefit is they grow faster. That's the benefit.
That's the bycatch of the theory.
So the benefit is they digest faster.
They digest faster. They use less.
But that's the thing. They digest faster, so you can feed them more.
False.
I don't.
Efficient. What do you mean you tried and it didn't wow you, Montauk?
Same. I tried it and all I found myself doing is cutting rodents every now and then, and
that's the problem. Time out.
No.
Let's back it up. Hold on a second. Let me adjust my. You have to do it fairly consecutively over a certain timeline. You can't just do it twice and be like, I didn't see anything. It's like dieting, or which I don't know anything about. Doesn't matter. But like, I'd imagine if you did do it, you have to stick to it long term. It's not something you can be like, I took a week off of Firehouse subs. I didn't see a difference. You gotta follow through.
I guess my biggest thing with it is it's not natural.
What do you mean it's not natural?
It's not natural.
What if a hawk picks up a rat, kills it, puts the cuts in the back, and then drops it for whatever reason?
And that one's very, very, very specific.
What if it happens repeatedly? Because maybe that hawk just sucks. Maybe that hawk's just shitty.
But that same snake isn't going to keep eating that same rodent.
Maybe.
Like, that's the thing. It's
into a nest of copperheads.
It's not a natural occurring thing. And
they eat roadkill. Thank you, Valentine.
They do. I'm not saying they don't eat roadkill. I agree. A lot of snakes eat a lot of dead shit. But
babies grow at a perfectly acceptable rate.
Exactly.
Grow even more perfectly and more acceptably
so this is my thing. The way I see it is, if you do that, you just want your stuff to grow faster. And false. I'm not about that. That's the way I see it. You want them to grow.
Hold on.
It's not
natural. Look at your room. You're keeping everything in plastic boxes. Yes, you're talking about natural.
100%. I am not denying that. But in my opinion, the only benefit of this is they grow faster. And it's like, I don't care about my stuff growing faster than anybody else's. Babies can grow fast. Yes, babies can grow fast with or without cutting the freaking rodents. Like, I don't like
the point.
That. No, there is no point.
There is a point.
That's the thing. That there's no point to doing it other than getting your babies to grow bigger and grow faster. That's it.
False.
That is no. What false?
The whole thing is false.
No, you're false.
Like, sure, they'll. Hold on a second. Let me collect my thoughts and myself.
No, because the only thing I saw from the study that you did and what's her name did was like, babies grow faster. They do this, they do that.
But
it doesn't, like, this doesn't get me anything.
They didn't.
Oh, then what's the point?
I'm getting there. You won't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please tell me.
From my findings, from my very limited sample size and semi like 50-50 anecdotal, 50-50 data findings as a scientist, of which I am one. I've had a PhD since today. The ones that got the cuts were not necessarily bigger or like substantially larger than the ones that didn't. I'll pull up the graphs. Who's Burbrink? What the fuck do you call me, Montrose? Let's see that. What was I saying? Damn it. All right. Ignoring whatever's being typed. I can't read it. They didn't necessarily get bigger, but they did have, like, they were like heftier, like they had a little more weight to them. They were a little more robust. But I don't think it's to make them grow faster per se. Like, yes, that will likely happen, and that actually will happen because it was shown in Hurley's study. But yeah, I remember now that you mentioned that, Chris.
Okay, so tell me what is the benefit?
They get more out of each meal. It's more efficient. Their body isn't having to work as hard to get through the skin.
They're taking the same shit as the ones that don't.
They're not.
They're not?
No.
So it looks different?
It does.
There's a different type of shit in there?
Correct.
Describe it to me.
What Brandon just said. Are they digesting more of the rodent with smaller turds? Yes.
Disagree.
Look,
I'll tell you.
The numbers don't lie, my guy.
Hold on. I'll tell you this. For something that doesn't eat rodents regularly, I see the more of the benefit. For something that has more of a different diet than that is furred rodents, makes a little bit more sense to me.
Riddle me this then, Batman.
I'm not Batman, but go ahead.
You have a clutch of tiny, runty, lame-ass yellow rats, right?
They're already eating hairless pinkies, dude.
Struggle, like say those pinkies are a big meal. We'll rewind it again. You have a bunch of baby Nerodia that are teeny tiny, baby garters, whatever, that are teeny tiny.
Fish.
A pinky is huge. Regular meals is you don't have that as an option.
What? I don't have a knife to chop up pinkies.
There's a hurricane or something.
I don't have a knife to chop pinkies in the little
have pinkies for like a month. Okay.
Unlike you, I stock up my pinkies. I don't have that issue.
No.
Yeah.
Look. You cut them. I put it in terms of chondros, but we all know you ain't know nothing about that, so we won't.
I don't need to know nothing about a stupid fucking green snake that sits on a stick. I don't need to know nothing about that.
What about what about a female that's looking rough after she's laid? Like,
I give her a regular ass rodent.
But would you not want to make that easier on her after she's just laid and her system is already like down for the count? Chris, I'm listening to Creed right now. Thank you very much.
I can hear Katie laughing in the background. Dude, I don't see the long-term benefit.
With arms wide open.
I see it with stuff that doesn't eat rodents on a normal diet. Like, okay, I can see it maybe helping, but like you bring Nerodia into it, baby Nerodia, I'm already chopping up those pinkies.
Online.
I'm already chopping up pinkies for
this place. I'll feed for
baby
you
Nerodia.
Everything.
See, now you're just changing topics because
I'm not.
Yeah, now you're singing Creed.
Don't argue with a brick wall anymore.
I'm not a brick wall. I'm telling you, like when it comes to baby Nerodia, I'm already chopping pinkies like in halves or thirds. That's better than cutting them. Better than putting little slices in them. Okay, so then if
you're doing the same thing,
if you're just slicing them, why aren't you cutting them in half?
If anything, it's
cut them in half. Then if you're gonna slice them up,
it's too messy. That's only gonna make it difficult for him to eat.
Messy, like no. I promise you, dude. If I cut a rodent in half for any of my stuff, they would grab that thing, wrap it, and spill the guts right out of it. That's disgusting.
That's not true.
That is true.
If that was the case, then my green trees would do that.
I'm sorry, your rhinos just grab it and they're like,
they're not, dude. Those little things go ham.
Yeah, well, dude, if I cut any of the stuff, if I cut anything on there, they're just gonna explode. Whole rodents as it is.
Deep, if that's the case.
My carpets. I feed stuff. I feed them rats that aren't cut at all, and I give them a rodent, and they grab it, and the guts just explode out of it because they grab it so
You must be feeding some busted ass rats, then, son.
No, they're just that hardcore. I don't feed. I don't keep little baby ass, pussy ass, fucking.
He said with a stack of red tubbed baby rat snake tubs behind him, right next to his
that
head.
don't need no cut rodents because they can take a whole rodent just fine.
So can my stuff.
Apparently not, because you got to baby them and cut them to make sure they grow and they're.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad either, dude. You can do what you want.
First time in our 6 years that you've decided to just
what?
Just
what?
Metaphorically kick me in the crotch repeatedly for no reason.
I'm not kicking you in the crotch. I'm just saying, the whole rodent cutting thing is not a necessary thing.
I never said it was necessary.
It's
checkmate.
It's not even I don't think it's a thing that, like, you know what? If you want to do it, have fun. If you want to waste that extra however many seconds to slice your fucking rodents.
Yeah, 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
I think it's stupid.
Good.
Personally. But that's just me.
You weren't saying that a couple years ago when I was talking about it. You're like, oh, that actually makes sense.
No, it's cool. Like, I never did it. Actually, no. I'll even.
How long did you do it? Once.
Not long. No, I did it more than once. I tried it, but like, I thought it was dumb.
Let me see how long it took for the results to reveal themselves. Where's that damn folder?
Again, but the only results I saw was I got my babies to grow faster.
And that's a bad thing?
It's not it's already proven that if you get your shit to grow super fast and super this and super that, then like it doesn't help the longevity.
Not even the same. Not even the same.
To me, all it's saying is if you want your animals to grow faster, all you give a shit about is money.
Wrong again.
That's that. If you want your shit to grow faster, there's no health benefits.
That's already
the only health benefit is I can feed them. I can feed them more often. I can feed them more often if I cut my rodents. I can get them bigger that way. Well, then what's the point of doing it?
So my animals get the most out of every meal.
Oh my god!
It's like feeding them beef jerky.
My animals' turds look exactly the same as yours. Yours just might come a day earlier. This is coming from the guy that calls a snake a female from the truck. By the way, anybody who's
Eagle Eye Smitty.
Yeah, he'll call that thing a female from sitting
copperhead. It's always a copperhead, and it's always a female.
My man ain't even driving, and he says that's a female from the truck.
Female.
Yeah. No. So if you want to listen to that, you can go right ahead.
50% of the time, I'm right.
Oh god.
I'll take those. I'll take those odds.
I actually do drop feed my babies barbecue and fit. I drop feed my babies. I don't drop feed anything
People
else.
who only do that just want to feed their snakes faster.
Yeah, I only drop feed my babies. I tongue feed everything else.
Let's see.
And I agree, Brandon. Brandon said you can grow them You can grow them fast as long as you don't keep growing them that same speed once they hit adult size. And I agree 100%. But I promise you, if Smitty's cutting his rodents and I'm not cutting my rodents, my snake is going to be at breeding size at the same time Smitty's is.
That's a bold statement.
Guaranteed. Well, that's all about feeding regimen.
And I also cut my adults. Because why not?
But
There's a
You want to talk about talking to a brick wall?
There's a very large difference between power feeding to get things to breeding size in a year and a half than there is to cutting the mice so that they're getting meals are more efficient.
Well, I hope to God that
I don't power feed.
That
if
God
anything,
is like any rodents that are fed to any of the wild snakes. I hope God is taking those rodents and cutting them with a razor blade and dropping them in front of those things, just so they can digest faster. I'm not even denying that Justin's babies might be
he's not gonna do
a little bigger. Dude, you can, if you want to do that, like, you can cut all yours and we'll feed on the same day. But you did this and there was basically no difference between your clutch.
That is false.
I said basically. I didn't say there wasn't a little bit. Little bit.
The cut group average by the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 week period ended at 9.4 grams, and the uncut group ended in the same time period at 8.38 grams.
Oh man, they had 1 gram.
For a baby snake, 1 gram is a decent amount.
But again, like, at the end of the day, when these snakes are adult, they're breeding at the same age. And they're just as healthy.
Depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you.
Let me put it into a picture so you can understand it better.
I don't even know why we're arguing about it. Who brought this up? Who brought this
up?
You
did. You started talking.
I didn't bring up the whole cutting rodents thing. It certainly wasn't me.
I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, science. Look at that Nike check.
It's not there yet. Where is it? What am I looking at?
That's the cut group average. Okay. Notice how it goes upwards. When it goes up, that's good. That means they're growing. Down here, this is your time over time.
Okay, yeah. So this is a cut group. I understand how fucking graph works, Smitty. This is the cut group. All right.
This is the no cut group. See how flaccid that is in comparison. If you look between your legs, it will look very similar. Choom. 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 Choom.
Okay, yeah, that's all fine and fucking dandy. Were these all pinkies?
Yeah, this was the same clutch of animals split into 2 groups, completely like I did sort of like the kickball rules of like picked one, okay, your cut group, picked another one randomly, you're uncut, cut, uncut, uncut, blah, blah, blah. And then
again, like, this is all I'm seeing is that these animals grow slightly faster.
Well, this is also only the course of 10 weeks. Think about
of
if
10 weeks, Smitty. That's the thing. You can fucking blow me for 10 weeks.
I mean,
tell me how this goes after. Tell me how this goes after 2 years.
Exactly. I want to do that.
Yeah, do it. And then I want to see it.
But that requires me to hold on to an entire clutch of animals for 2 years.
If you can't hold on to the entire clutch while you have it, then you shouldn't produce it in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that. So do it then. This is what I'm saying is, like, all I see the benefit is of, and this, you're proving my point. The only thing that I saw the benefit was they grow kind of faster. Kind of. But I'm telling you, as an adult at 3 years of age, when they should be able to breed, and that's for males specifically, females maybe even need another year. I can guarantee you my males will be able to breed at the same time your cut males will, and my females will be able to breed at the same age your cut females will.
9.5% within the margin of error for most scientific studies. Absolutely.
Jeremy, you're supposed to be my friend.
I don't know what he meant by that statement. He could be saying that it's erroneous.
It is. That margin that you show is not enough for me to do it. And I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm not. If you want to cut, if anybody wants to cut their fucking rodents, that's fine. Do what you want to do.
Look at that right here. Where it intersects right there.
But look at the drop off they also had. There's a significant drop off right here with those. But then go back and look at there's hardly any drop off there. It's not enough of a difference.
Well,
sorry, Justin.
Also was likely one or two animals in that group that were just slow starters. So that's a group average.
Oh, whoa, that's a group average. Shut up.
He said it's not enough difference.
Yeah. All I'm saying is if you want to cut your rodents, go ahead and cut your rodents. But don't tell me that cutting your rodents is so much better than not. Because it's not. And that's just a fact. The fact that you've been telling everybody to cut their rodents for the last 2 fucking
telling
years.
Everyone to do it.
Yes, you have.
Saying I do it. It's interesting. This was one that like refused to take off and was really dragging down the group.
I bet that thing was getting cut rodents.
It wasn't. It was in the not cut group. That's what the NC stands for.
Yeah, well, you changed it. It's not enough for me to see that much of a benefit. That's all I'm getting at. I have too many snakes to take the time to cut.
If you have that many snakes and you can't take the time to do it, then you shouldn't have that many snakes at all. If you can't take 3 seconds per to do that.
And so Jeremy actually makes a good point. He said if one feeds birds, should they pluck them first? But that's also a thing. Like, what happens if they get to a size to where they can eat birds at that point? They can eat quail or chicks or whatever. Like, how does it change then?
I don't know. It doesn't apply to birds because I don't do birds.
Oh, it doesn't apply to birds. Yeah, that's your problem.
I don't feed birds.
No, it's not that you don't feed birds. It's that you're limiting this to one thing.
I'm limiting it to corn snakes and pinkies. Because that's what I did with this. I do want to try it with chondros.
So
I'm very interested to see how it goes with chondros, especially like.
So I would challenge, I'll challenge you this: the ones that eat cut rodents, keep them on cut pinkies longer, and then change the babies over to fuzzies before those cut rodents happen. To change.
Mine?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I don't.
Keep the ones that are on cut longer, and then change the ones that aren't cut over to fuzzies once they can take a fuzzy.
In the uncut group.
Yes.
I feel like you'd see.
It's not exactly. It's not about cut versus uncut. It's about the size that you feed them. You change something over the fuzzy, it's going to jump dramatically, way past
your cut. Your stuff over to fuzzies. I don't know what the hell happened with this one. He just flatlined for 3 weeks.
I don't even know what you're looking at this point.
Me neither. It's science. That's what we're looking at, Jake. Read it and weep. Your only limit is your aspirations. That's right, Jack. Give me half your chondro clutch and I'll compare growth rates with you.
I guarantee you Chris's chondros would be bigger than yours.
Guaranteed. The fact that you voluntarily listen to Creed is interesting and depressing.
It is.
I don't because the fish are alive. Sean asked, do I slice up the fish for the rhinos? Because I'm not a sick bastard. I don't do it with live mice. I have never done that with a live mouse. That's fucked.
Oh, so that's where you draw the line.
Jeremy says he doesn't think he'll see much of a difference with chondros. Their digestive efficiency is already in the 90% plus range. I mean, like fresh babies that are eating the tiniest of pinkies. Yes, I feed rosy reds. I don't know why where's it a huge no-no? I just did it for like 6+ months without any issues. I don't know. Thiaminase kills. Don't kill rhinos.
All I'm saying is as long as your snakes are eating, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Whether you cut them, whether you don't, whether you feed fish, whether you don't.
Nice lip pillow.
My little 3 milli sugar glider. See?
What?
No, don't worry about it. It's my Zen.
Gay.
My little upper decker.
What?
Nothing. Jesus.
Has thiaminase, blocks thiamine absorption, use live bearing fish like guppies, swords, etc.
Swordfish.
I do like swordfish.
Not that type of swordfish, little baby.
I tried zebra danios and got nothing. I don't know if it's because they just move so damn quick. Like danios are freaking fast, man. They're like little darts.
Sometimes I just want to assault you.
Why?
Just like some of the things that come out of your mouth, I just like.
I don't. What?
I want to strike you.
What's wrong with danios?
Nothing's wrong with danios. The fact that you're like, oh, I think they move too fast. It's like, no, they don't.
They move quick.
They might move quick, but they're not too quick for a snake to catch. I don't know, man. Dude, like,
you ever seen a danio?
I used to work at PetSmart, bro. Yes.
You ever
I'm not proud to say that, but it's facts. I caught every single fucking fish in that store.
And every crab.
I just like
don't eat.
Chris is advocating for a slap fight, and I'm like, I'm not against it. I'm not.
That means you're open to losing.
Yeah, I am open to losing. But I'm also open to slapping the fucking shit out of you.
I don't get what the big deal is.
The big deal is you talk out of your ass.
I'm not. Zebra danios move way faster than
how many times? How many times you feed zebra danios? How many times?
I offered them once and they got ignored.
Oh, once.
And then I tried to keep them alive and I failed. How many zebra danios have you kept?
I don't need to feed.
0.
I don't need to feed.
I kept some for 24 hours, buddy.
I don't need. You kept some for 24 hours.
24 hours longer than you. Cabana Throwdown this August, Slapdown 2024 Daytona Beach.
I don't need to keep dumb live feeder fish for my stuff. No need for it. Because I don't keep stupid snakes that need to eat live fish swimming around their water bowl.
Maybe you should try sometime. They're really cool.
I'm good. I have barons.
Your loins are barren.
You would know.
Damn right.
Oh man.
Nerodia, yeah, you don't feed live because you feed them gross Chinese tilapia that are bred in sewer drains.
I don't need live fish for Nerodia. Give them
About the
chopped up.
enrichment.
Give them chopped up tilapia and chopped up pinkies, and they all get mixed together.
What about the experience of them getting to live the wild Nerodia life? You're depriving them of that, Jacob. They just want to be Nerodia and eat fish in the wild and eat their siblings.
And that's fine and dandy.
And you're not letting them do that.
Chris, fuck off. You're supposed to be on my side with this. You don't have to bring the girlfriend.
He's just in there stirring the pot is all it is.
He is. He is. But and you're right, Jack. I do feed ball skin mice because I feed a lot of hairless mice to my Nerodia.
This isn't usually what I stay up late at night doing, but Jake's just
I'm
begging to be wrong.
I'm not doing anything. You're the one like saying just dumb shit. Always
stir.
You're just like you're constantly saying stuff that makes me want to just like slap the shit out of you for no reason.
Like Zebra Daniels swim fast.
Not even that. I'm not gonna lie. It was mostly the sex and snakes from the truck thing. That one that really
just
got
jealous
me.
of my skills.
I 50%
of the time I nail it.
I don't want to embarrass you in front of.
Go ahead,
anybody, but
I ain't scared.
I mean, I already brought it up, so I'm not going to bring it up again. It is what it
I'm
is,
6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking
6 feet from
maybe 6 feet ain't so far down, buddy. This episode was brought to you by BlackBoxCages.com. Check it out. Facebook, Instagram. Use the code THN at checkout. Save yourself 10% off your order. Steve Snaketuary and his Venom Hot Sauce. The whole lineup. Grab it. SteveSnaketuary.com. Support a good dude. Get yourself something spicy and delicious. FullOfUseApparel.com. Also use that code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you.
And if you want to see a slap fight go down, stay tuned for Daytona 2024.
He's probably going to like try and sucker punch me or do something dirty.
I won't.
Fair.
I won't. I promise you I won't. That's the thing. That right there tells me you're scared.
I'm scared of how much I'm going to like it. You're going to be going at it. You're just going to be like, wait, why does he have a boner?
I'm gonna be slapping Smitty with chocolate over my head. He's just gonna have a fucking raging hard on and be like, I've been waiting for this for 6 years.
Beat you with this club.
Yeah, I want to see Montross like ref this and like we'll stand there like the whole slap fight goes. I'll stand up. Promise you.
We'll be back Monday for Snakes and Stogies. 9:00 Monday night, Eastern Standard Time. Taking bets now.
Everybody's gonna bet on Smitty, and that's okay. I like
have
my
reach.
I don't think you're for one
like UFC, and they had the
reach doesn't matter in a slap fight, buddy.
I got you in weight for sure because I've got a lot of people beat by weight, and then the length of my arms and legs.
That means nothing in a slap fight.
And the mind of a scientist. It's like in the Sherlock Holmes movies where he like slows it down and has like the Matrix bullet time analytics in his brain.
Dude,
I got it.
That's the thing. You're talking a lot, and I'm ready for it. You tell me when. That's the thing. You're talking a lot, trying to make excuses for how you're gonna win.
I'd love to beat your ass up and down the beach, but I'm gonna be busy vending.
No, we're not. It's not gonna be vending. It's gonna be Saturday night.
I'm camping out at my booth.
Saturday night, 9 o'clock.
I have a PhD in 10 weeks pinky cutting. Damn right.
Let's go, baby. On site. I ain't scared. Your wife even said, Jake, I think you can take him.
She's just stirring the pot. She's right there with Montrose. They got all hands on the spoons. They're just stirring.
I ain't scared. Sounds like you're the only one that is. Daytona 2024 slap fight. THP. Let's go. He said, see, that's the thing. He's talking the most shit.
Loser has to streak through Daytona on the Lord's Day. I would love to come back to that show, though, is kind of the only problem.
They won't know you're a reptile keeper.
I mean, there are plenty of homeless people. I could blend right in.
You blend right in with the way you look. Easy.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Easy.
No argument there. I'm going to bed.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody.
So I can dream about fucking you up.
That's all right. I'll be waiting for it. Now I'm excited.
Okay.
Even if I lose, the fact that I get to slap the shit out of you.
Be bopping.
Just makes it all that better.
All right.
I'm going to beat Papa you into the sand.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We love you.
Sweet dreams. You even going to say goodbye?
I said bye. I said good night.
Just
good night, everybody.
Stare at him like a wax statue.
And be there for Daytona. Take your bets. Anybody who bets on me, you're going to get a big
be blindfolded while we do this.
There's no blindfolding. I don't want to be blindfolded.
Why? Because you're scared.
I want to look you in the face when you slap the shit out of me, and I don't
lick
move.
Me in the face.
I said I want to be. I don't want to be blindfolded when you smack the shit out of me, and I don't even move. I don't even move. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.